Hello everyone, welcome to Warren Field here in Brookline, Massachusetts. We have high school baseball for you today, Bay State League baseball. It's the Framingham Flyers taking on the Brookline Warriors. Along with Jesse Mayfield, I'm John Leahy. Great to have you with us. And Jesse, this is a matchup of two teams that lost their first game yesterday. Brookline shut out. In fact, they were no hit. Framingham put some runs on the board, but they gave up 14, so a different kind of opener for both teams.
Yeah, it's really the duality of baseball, isn't it? Brookline trying to get some offense going after you said being shut out and no hit in a 7-0 loss to Wellesley in their home opener yesterday. And meanwhile, Framingham hosting the Newton North Tigers, they fell 14-8, so no problem on the offensive side, but they got to get that defense working. We'll see who's able to take that next step today.
We'll have the first pitch next. It's Framingham and Brookline from Warren Field in Brookline.
Roll over.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique.
And your mother.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Welcome back to Warren Field here in Brookline. An overcast, somewhat chilly day. Temperature 53 degrees, and we have high school baseball for you, Framingham and Brookline. And Jesse, these two teams 0-1, desperate to get off to better starts today. Brookline hitless in the game yesterday. Framingham, as we said in the open, plenty of offense, but they've got to get their pitching in gear.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the things you really see is just how tough the absence of last season was for some of these teams. I mean, according to the Framingham source, just 2 returning players from the last varsity starting roster that Framingham sent out, because that was 2 years ago. It can be really tough to figure out who you are as a team when you're having to come back from a 2-year gap instead of the usual 1-year gap.
Well, we'll take a look at Framingham's starting lineup for you. Cody Coleman will lead off. He is the catcher. Batting second, it'll be Nathan Thurber. He's the pitcher today. Batting third, it'll be Scooter Beverly. He's in left field. The number 4 hitter will be Alex Duffy. He's in center field. Batting fifth, Angelo Mutafas. He's the first baseman. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, Lucas Messer. Batting seventh at third base, it'll be Chris Kelly. And then batting in the 8th spot today, it'll be Trey Connolly. He's the shortstop. And batting ninth, Antonio Rivera in right field. And you've also got Nick Spring, who will be playing at second base today. And we'll give you the Brookline defense as the game gets underway. Framingham will be in the dark blue uniforms. Actually, both these teams in dark blues. And Brookline in their traditional blues with red and white trim. But it looks like the weather's going to hold off, Jesse, and we should get this game in no problem.
Oh, yeah. With the earlier rain we had around Tuesday and Wednesday, I was starting to get worried. I was like, are they going to be able to get this field cleared off in time for Thursday's opener and then today's game? Credit to the Brookline grounds crew. They kept this place, nice and tidy. You can see off the field where some muddy spots, you could see just how ugly it could have gotten if the grounds crew wasn't doing their job. So hats off to them.
Absolutely. So this is a Bay State League battle, and we invite you to sit back and enjoy it on ASPN HD. Games streamed on ASPNHD.com. So Brookline will be in the field first, and the Warriors will gather at the mound here briefly, and Roach will get the start for Brookline today.
That's right. Number 2, Owen Roach, getting the start. This is a guy who was very versatile. He played center field and shortstop yesterday as they rotated through some pitchers. A young kid with a lot of skill. Last time I saw him on the mound was in the Lou Tompkins Summer League. He came through very big in a long 12-inning semifinal game against Reading Red, 3 shutout innings of relief, and ultimately closed the door and got to be the last hero there. So we'll see what he comes through with today.
Well, in the game yesterday, Brookline dropping it by a score of 7-0, and their starter yesterday went, I believe it was 3 1/3 innings. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jake Levin took the start on the mound yesterday. He got off to a solid start, but then things kind of fell apart in the 4th inning. A couple walks put the pressure on, and then some nicely laid down bunt singles by the Raiders. Got the scoring going. And then they tried to bring in Rocco Shorkey as a reliever, but the first batter he faced blasted a laser out to right center, bases clearing double, and all of a sudden it's 6-0, and what can you do?
Well, it'll be Cody Coleman stepping in for Framingham as we get this game underway. And Brookline was defeated by Wellesley yesterday, while Framingham played their game against Newton North, a home game.
Yeah.
And so, you know, one thing about Bay State League baseball, boy, you got some great teams in this league. It's going to be great baseball all season long.
And some great rivalries. I mean, you talk about how Framingham lost to Newton North. Really, I'd say both teams on the field today lost yesterday, because if there's one thing you know about Brookline High, they love to see Newton North lose. Those two rivals, no love lost there, and so I'm sure Brookline's not only thinking we want to beat you, but dang it, why couldn't you beat Newton North? We're going to get you for that.
Well, the rivalries in baseball, you know, especially at the high school level where the towns are so close, it always brings out the best in these players, and we're looking forward to seeing what will be in store today as Coleman getting ready to get into the batter's box, and we are waiting for the some sort of delay here. The home plate umpire is
he seems
speaking to the catcher, I believe.
Yeah, it's hard to know what's going on there. I mean that's just the thing is, you know, we always I think we take for granted the smoothness of the logistics at the higher professional levels. You know, sometimes at high school, these guys, you know, they're doing this as a volunteer or as a part-timer. Yep. You know, so they're out there doing their best.
Absolutely. Again, waiting for this brief delay to pass by, and I think what we can do now is just start to set the Brookline defense for you.
Absolutely.
In the outfield, Declan Tracy will get the start in left field. The center fielder is Ryan Kravitz, and then in right field for Brookline, it is going to be Ramsey Annis. Around the infield for the Brookline Warriors, it is going to be, as I search for first names here, Leander Grossling will be the third baseman. The shortstop is going to be Rocco Shorgy. Thank you for that.
No problem.
Second baseman is Jack Martel. The first baseman is going to be Eli Rothman. And doing the catching for Brookline today is Jasper Reed. So we're set for baseball here in Brookline. Delighted to have you with us. And the first pitch of the game is an off-speed pitch, missing low and away. Count 1 ball, no strikes. Every manager wants his starter to go deep into the ball game. As this pitch misses low and away. And yes, you have arms in the bullpen, but the more innings the starter can give you, Jesse, the better.
Yeah, especially with the rules you got at the high school level about pitch counts. I mean, they got 3 guys ineligible today, as this one is skied.
High pop in the infield, and the shortstop in position. Making the play is Shorgy, and we have 1 out. So nice start. Coleman pops to the shortstop.
Yes. Routine pop-up, although at the high school level you could argue there are no routine plays. But nice play there. Good work by Roach to get through it in a few pitches.
Nathan Thurber will step in. Scheduled to do the pitching today for Framingham. The first pitch, a fastball up in the zone. Count 1-0. Another thing that always helps is if pitchers can get ahead in the count. You don't want to work from behind. There's an off-speed pitch, missing low and away, and the count goes to 2-0. Sun trying to peek through the clouds here at Warren Field.
Yeah, like you said, you don't want to get that pitch count too high.
And it's being tracked for sure. 2-0 pitch misses downstairs, and the count 3-0. Thurber to be followed by Scooter Beverly. Thurber, a 2022 projected graduate. Pitch is in there for a called strike.
That's good. I mean, the 3-0 pitch is almost always a freebie, so, but again, you never know. Guy might miss.
3-1, that's lifted in the air, and that's going to dunk into shallow center field for a base hit. So Thurber, you might say he's helping his own cause there as he loops one into center field for a base hit.
Yeah, well placed there. Just a nice drop in between that spot between second baseman and the center fielder.
Scooter Beverly will step in now for the Flyers, left-handed hitter. Beverly is an outfielder and a first baseman by trade. So Roach will work out of the stretch here. First pitch misses high. That's the third consecutive batter that he's thrown ball 1 to.
Yeah, and like you said, you want to be able to attack these guys. You don't want to give them, free pitches. You don't want to up that pitch count.
Roach will check in with the runner at first. And Thurber gets back safely.
Got to be careful with those plays. Jake Levin ran into some trouble yesterday. 2 throwing errors on attempted pickoffs. It gives him a free runner in scoring position. Got to be careful.
And this one's going to miss up and away. Matt Milano, the manager of the Framingham Flyers, head coach as they're called at the baseball level, had a chance to chat with Matt prior to the game, and he was commenting about the game against Newton North yesterday, and some of the pieces need to fall together for the Flyers. Here's the pitch, and this one's going to miss high for a ball.
Yeah, and a lot of these misses, they're not close misses. He's not making them think or anything like that. Either very high or very low. He's got to get it closer to the zone.
Thurber with about a 3-step lead. Wanted that pitch badly, but the fastball misses low and away, and that's going to be a base on ball. So Beverly draws the walk, and Framingham runners at first and second. So an early threat for the Flyers.
Yeah, this is the kind of hole you don't want to be in. You don't want your pitcher too much in his own head. Baseball is such a mental game, and when you get an early hole like this, it can be tough.
Here's Alex Duffy, cleanup hitter, right-handed hitter. And this one's cut on and missed, so the count 0-1. Duffy is an outfielder and first baseman by trade. He also is a right-handed pitcher.
Yes, and even though he's not one of those 2 returners from a couple years ago, Coach Milano told the Framingham source this is a guy he was expecting some good offense from.
And they'll check in at second, and a great play there by the shortstop, Skorgi, as he had the range to prevent that ball from going into center field. Runner back safely.
Yeah, heads-up reflexes by Rocco Shorgy there. As he was not only diving to get it, he was diving in the opposite direction of where he ran to the base.
They may be checking for an injury here. Looks like manager Matt Milano out to check on Thurber. And we hope all is well, that he can stay in. Of course, from a player's perspective, injuries are never enough to come out of the game. You don't want to leave the game under any circumstances.
Oh yeah, when you're an athlete, when you're playing the game, you're living in the moment. You're living in that zone. And the thing about injury, rules is that they're about thinking about long term, thinking about the future of these kids and all that. So it can be a little conflicting there in terms of the desires.
Roach deals. Looked like an off-speed offering. And that pitch misses up and in. No working scoreboard here at the ballpark, so we'll have to be extra vigilant trying to keep track of the count.
Absolutely.
Runners will lead from first and second. Little game of cat and mouse there as this pitch misses inside. A little bit of rain in the area about an hour ago as we made the ride up here to Brookline. But certainly nothing to be concerned about in terms of delaying the ball game. Runners lead off first and second. And decent pitch there, and that one didn't miss by much.
Yeah, no, he's getting closer to the zone, but he's got to find a way to either get his way in there or maybe get some more movement on his pitches.
Thurber at second, Beverly at first. Framingham threatening here in the top of the first. And this one will miss down and away. Second walk of the inning.
And second consecutive, too.
And that's going to load the bases for the Flyers with one out. Thurber will advance over to third. Beverly up to second. That'll bring to the plate Angelo Mutafas, the first baseman. Hitting fifth in the order. Mutafas, a 2021 grad, which makes him a junior. Here's the pitch. Fastball away. No, I guess that would be a senior in 2021.
I know. It's like you're like, did last year even happen?
Yeah.
For a lot of teams, no, it didn't.
And we will have a mound visit here.
Yeah, no, they got to get They got to get Roach to calm down and find that strike zone. And I know when you got runners on base, it can be a little scary to attack it, but you got to have faith in your fielders. I mean, you got to force everywhere right now. If you get a simple enough dribbler, you could turn maybe a double play and get right out of this. And the thing about getting a play like that, instant shift of momentum.
Well, Brookline, from their perspective, Jesse, they want a ground ball hit right at somebody.
Yes.
You know, and preferably near a bag so they can turn the quick double play.
Yeah.
And so with the first pitch to Mutafas missing for ball 1, that prompted the coaching visit. And Roach in a bit of trouble here in the top of the first. He'll work out of the set. And this off-speed pitch will miss downstairs. I believe the count is 2-0.
And can't catch a break on these.
Alex Duffy, the man who just drew a walk, was 2 for 2 in the game yesterday with a double and an RBI and a couple of walks. Fastball in there for a called strike. A badly needed strike from Roach, and the count goes to 2-1.
Yes.
Cody Coleman, who was the leadoff hitter, the only batter that Brookline has been able to retire, he had a 3 for 4 game yesterday with a double. This pitch will miss downstairs, and so, Jesse, he's 1 pitch away from walking in a run.
Yeah, and this was the exact problem that Levin started to run into in the 4th inning yesterday. Guys got on base, he started getting too much in his own head, just started missing, and eventually bases loaded to walk, brings in a run.
3-1, and the off-speed pitch will miss. That will be ball 4, and the 3rd consecutive walk will produce a run for Framingham. Mutafas will pick up an RBI, and Thurber will cross the plate, and it's a 1-0 lead for Brookline. Excuse me, for Framingham.
Yeah, this is a really tough way to start a pitching outing. I mean, he's just giving free shots to them, and I'm not entirely sure what's going on here.
Lucas Messer will lift this one in the air, right field, and the ball will be misplayed out there. And that is going to produce some more offense for the Flyers.
Yep, looks like everyone landed safely and they brought 1 run home.
So that, I imagine, will be an E9.
Yeah.
As he was in position to make the play. So on the E9, that will produce a run. That won't go as an RBI. Beverly comes in to score. Duffy will go to 3rd, and Mutafas up to 2nd. The bases remain loaded with 1 out. And the batter now is going to be Chris Kelly, the 3rd baseman. And he'll roll a foul back to the backstop.
And you know, the other problem that those errors bring is again, they get in the pitcher's head. And all of a sudden he's thinking, can I pitch? Do I have to take care of it myself? Am I all alone up here? You know, it just makes things so much harder.
It's been a 2-run inning, and the bases remain loaded. As Kelly will cut and miss, and Roach badly in need of an out here. He retired the first man he faced, Coleman, on a pop-up to short, but a single, 3 consecutive walks, and then a misplay by the right fielder. 2 runs home for the Flyers. As this pitch is going to miss for ball 4, and another run will be forced in. 3-0 for Framingham.
Man.
Kelly will pick up an RBI there, as Duffy scores with the 3rd run of the inning. Mutafas will advance to 3rd, Messer on up to 2nd. So the 8th man in the inning will bat. This is Trey Connolly for Framingham. And the first pitch to him is going to miss for ball 1. Connolly is a senior infielder for the Flyers. Continuing to work out of that stretch, of course, with the bases loaded. Swing and a ground ball hit to past the shortstop in a left field, and a run will score. And a throw home. They won't get a man there. They'll fire it back, and the Flyers have tacked on a run. Connolly picks up the RBI hit.
I think actually 2 guys came in there.
2-run single, yeah.
Yeah, 2-run single, and he advanced on the throw.
All right, so scoring would be Mutafas, and
Messer.
Messer scores as well, so that's going to put Kelly at 3rd. And Connolly will advance up to 2nd, so you've got 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. And it's been a 5-run inning. Here's Rivera, the 9th man in the order. Takes a fastball away. 1-0. Antonio Rivera, a junior, splits his time between outfield and infield for Matt Milano. Runners lead off second and third. And this one's topped. Fouled at home plate.
Man, I mean, when you've got an inning going this bad, it's almost like, what do you even say? I mean, when he pitches in the strike zone, they hit it where the fielders aren't, or the fielders drop it. And when he doesn't hit the strike zone, he walks in more runs. And absolutely nothing is going right now.
Pitch count very high for Roach. And from the set, here's the off-speed pitch. This one's lifted in the air, right side, and it's going to drift into foul territory as the right fielder, Annis, was the closest player to that one, dropping in foul territory. See some parents here at the ballpark, loyal, devoted parents watching their sons play. Brookline has their bullpen up. And a topped foul off to the right. Now it looks like number 11 warming for Brookline, Jesse.
Is that number 11?
I believe so. We'll have to hunt down that name on our roster.
Looks like number 11 is doing the catching duties while another player's warming up. Hard to tell.
Will miss high. All right, well, we will find out for sure. We'll keep an eye on that bullpen. Roach delivers. This one's popped in the air. This is going to head off foul to the right. And this can be such a long experience for the infielders and outfielders as they are yearning to make a play defensively.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it feels like forever since Brookline got that first out.
Fastball will miss upstairs. Yeah, Coleman led off by popping to short, but been a tough battle for Roach since then. Single, 3 walks, an error, a walk, and another hit. 5 runs in for the Flyers here in the top of the first. This one's lifted in the air, center field, and coming over to make a nice catch is Kravitz. The runner will tag and score. That'll be a sacrifice fly, and that makes it 6-0 for Framingham. Credit Rivera with the RBI, and Framingham extends their lead as Kelly crosses the plate. Connolly will remain at second.
You know, at this point, just take the outs where you can get them. You know, that's one of those situations, like, even if it's a grounder to the infield, you still throw to first because you just got to get out of the inning.
Absolutely. You got to create momentum wherever you can find it. As Coleman will bat now for the second time in the inning. He popped a short to lead off the ball game. And Roach will step off. So Coleman, the 10th man to bat for the Framingham Flyers here in the top of the first. And missing upstairs is Roach. Runner at second, 6 runs in for the Flyers. We'll set the Framingham defense for you in the bottom of the first. And Roach missing. Very close pitch there. Could have gone either way.
Yeah, that's the other thing is with various umpires, you get various different strike zones, and this one seems pretty tight.
Every umpire has his own personality or disposition or way of looking at the strike zone. Ground ball sharply hit, and the third baseman had it go off his arm, Grossling, and that will advance the runner to third. Hard to tell if that was a bad hop, but Grossling was in position to make the play. But the runner will be safe. Men at the corners.
That's too bad. Leander Grossling was one of the defensive high notes for Brookline yesterday. Made a few nice 5-3 outs. And that time, like you said, whether it's a bad hop or a miss, it's like, how do you score that? Do you score that as a base hit? Do you score that as an error?
We don't have official scorers here, so I guess we'll have to make our own judgments. But at any rate, here's Thurber. He singled and scored earlier in the inning. Pitch misses up high. They'll check in at second.
And the double steal is going to score.
Yeah, the run will score as they had the double steal on. And Brookline has made it a 7-0 game. So in to score is Connolly. He will score the 7th run of the inning. And Coleman advancing up to second on the stolen base. Thurber will hit this one on the ground to third. And the throw across is low. Brookline seems to think the out was recorded, but the runner will be safe. That's going to be an infield single for Thurber.
Man, it's just one thing after another. If it's not the batters making nice hits, if it's not Roach missing the strike zone, it's the fielders making missed plays. Not a single thing seems to be going right for Brookline right now.
They'll have runners at the corners with 2 outs, and here is Scooter Beverly. Beverly walked and scored. Came in to score when the right fielder misplayed the ball on a low sinking line drive. 7 runs home for Framingham. As the pitch misses high, they'll check in at second on the stolen base attempt, and he's caught stealing. So Framingham trying to keep the pressure on. Thurber is caught stealing 2-6, and that's going to end the inning. Framingham in the inning, they'll score 7 runs. And according to my calculations, looks like 2 hits and 2 errors and 1 man left. So we've played half an inning here at Warren Field in Brookline. It's Framingham 7 and Brookline coming up.
Man. And this is where we find out if Framingham has really taken that next step. We knew they could score. I mean, 7 runs in an inning is a lot, but they put up 8 yesterday, so we know they can score. The question is, can they improve from 14 runs allowed? And then as for Brookline on the other side, you know, can they turn around their offense?
Yep. Well, let's take a look at the defense that we'll be looking at for Framingham. We gave you the batting order for Brookline, so we'll take a look at the defense for the Flyers as getting the start. Oh, we did not give the batting order. All right, so for Brookline, let's take care of that. All right, leading off, it will be Owen Roach, the pitcher. Batting second, it's going to be Kravitz. What is his first name? We'll try and find Ryan Kravitz, the center fielder. Batting third, Rocco Scorgi, the shortstop. The cleanup hitter is Jasper Reed, the catcher. Batting fifth, it's going to be
Ramsey
Annis.
Right fielder.
Right field. Batting sixth, Jack Martel, the first baseman. Batting seventh, it's going to be Eli Rothman, the first baseman. Batting eighth, Leander Grossling, the third baseman. And then batting ninth, it is going to be Declan Tracy in left field. Defensively for Framingham, their outfield looks like this. Scooter Beverly is in left field. The center fielder is Alex Duffy, and the right fielder is Antonio Rivera. The infield for the Flyers looks like this. Chris Kelly will be at third base. The shortstop is Trey Connolly. The second baseman is Nick Spring. And at first base, it's Angelo Mutafas doing the catching. It's going to be Cody Coleman. Doing the pitching today for Framingham, right-hander Nathan Thurber, who is also a shortstop for this Framingham team.
Yeah, that's the thing at the high school level. You can't pitch every day, and you know the rosters aren't big enough that you can just take a 4-day break when you're not on the mound. You got to be able to play multiple positions.
So, and there's nothing like having a big lead for a pitcher who's coming out for his first inning of work. Boy, it just kind of sets you at ease a little bit and gives you a little bit of a comfort zone.
Yeah, and it allows you to aggressively attack more. I mean, we talked a lot about the mental game of things, about how it can get in the pitcher's head and you start to miss. But when you come in, you haven't done a thing, and you're already up 7, that's easy. I just throw meatballs down the middle. Who cares?
Well, let's see how it plays out. Roach will lead off, and he's hoping to help his own cause as he had a rocky first inning. Thurber's first pitch. There's a fastball in there for a called strike. Another thing, Jesse, when you know you have a big lead like this, you know you can pitch with confidence and throw strikes.
Yes.
Even if the ball is hit, you have confidence in your defense. As the pitch is cut on and missed. 0-2 the count to Roach.
Roach did a nice job getting on base yesterday. He got 3 walks, but couldn't really get around to score. He fouls this one off.
Roach also attempted a stolen base in yesterday's game, was unsuccessful. He was the center fielder for Brookline in the game last night.
Yes. And I tell you, there's probably no one who wants to get Brookline's first hit more badly than Owen Roach.
Help his own cause. Here's the pitch. This one's going to miss low and away. Funny story. The last baseball game that I broadcast, the most recent game that I did was in Brooklyn, New York. Now I'm here in Brookline, Massachusetts. So the world comes full circle. This pitch is lifted high in the air, right side, out of play.
You know, I said Owen Roach is badly looking for a hit, and it's not just to help his own cause. When they went into the playoffs with the Lou Tompkins team over the summer, he, out of nowhere, hit this awful slump, went completely hitless for their entire run to the championship game. So he wants to get his first hit in a while, but not this time.
Roach will be called out on strikes. That'll be out number 1. And Thurber picks up the K. And that's going to bring us now to the number 2 man in the order. And this is going to be Ryan Kravitz, the center fielder. And he'll first pitch swing and lift a foul straight back. High school games are 7 innings long.
Yes.
And so, you know, a lot of changes have happened in many levels in baseball. High school games, though, have always been that 7-inning duration. Ground ball past the mound, and the throw will be made in time. Coming on over to make that play was the shortstop, Connolly. And Kravitz is retired, 2 away.
Yeah, nice play there by the second baseman. After it bounced past the pitcher.
Yeah, you're right. That was Spring, second baseman on the play, if you're scoring at home.
Yes.
Here's Skorgi, the shortstop. 0 for 3 in the game yesterday with a strikeout.
Yeah, very uncharacteristic of him. Shorgy's usually really good at practicing his plate patience, drawing walks, or getting clean hits and getting on base, but had absolutely no luck against a strong Wellesley rotation.
Thurber with a good curveball there that misses outside. 7-0 Framingham as we play here in the bottom of the first. Delighted to have you with us from Warren Field in Brookline. There's the offering, and that will miss inside.
Yeah, and that's the other thing about Brookline is they're usually so good at practicing plate patience, but they got to put balls in play. They can't be discouraged by what happened with Kravitz right there.
And this pitch is going to make contact, hit batsman here, and Skorgi will reach first. First base runner of the game for Brookline. And here is the catcher, Reed. Cleanup man in the Brookline order.
Jasper Reed's got some pop in his bat. He sent one really high fly out to center field, just too much air under it yesterday. So we'll see if he can put a better ball in play. But fun fact, that fly out of his, one of just 6 times that Brookline was able to put balls in play yesterday as they struggled to get bat on ball.
Reed with a swing and a miss. We've got a pronunciation update. It is Shorgy. That is the correct pronunciation for the number 3 man in the order.
Yes.
We thank whoever sent that in to us. Jasper Reed, right-handed hitter. Here's the pitch. Curve is popped in the air, and that's going to go straight back for a foul ball. Framingham sent 11 men to the plate in the first inning, 7 of them scoring. 7 runs, 2 hits, 2 Brookline errors, and 1 left in that first inning. Thurber works out of the stretch with 2 away. And an off-speed pitch cut on for strike 3, and that will retire the side. So Thurber faces 4 in that first inning. Winds up striking out 2 for the Warriors in the first inning. No runs, no hits. There were no Brookline errors. And Framingham leaves 1 on base. We've played 1 inning here at Warren Field in Brookline with the score. Framingham 7 and Brookline nothing.
Man, I mean, that is just not how you wanted to respond. They managed to get 1 guy on base off the hit pitch, but I mean, like we were saying, the breaks just didn't seem to be going Brookline's way in the top half, and then in the bottom half, the closest thing you get to a break is that grounder that skipped by the pitcher, but then it's too slow and it rolls right to the second baseman.
Looks like a new pitcher on for Brookline. This looks like Jack Martel, if my numbers are correct.
That is correct. That is Jack Martel, number 15. He moves in from the second base position, and it's looking like Roach, it'll just be a 1-to-1 swap, and Roach is going to move to second base. You know, he played some shortstop as well as center field yesterday. He's got that versatility to play in a lot of different places if you move him into the field. But not often you see a 1-to-1 swap. Usually you got to swap one guy, swap another guy, shuffle the deck chairs around. But in this one, just a very simple swap. Martel and Roach swap places.
And they'll be in the same spot in the batting order.
Yes.
One would think. So Roach.
Yeah. I don't think there is any rule that would allow them to swap.
Right.
I mean, I haven't read the rule book. So I don't know all the legalese, as it were. But wouldn't that be interesting if you could swap? if you could do that, like if they just allowed like once or twice in a game for you to just be like, okay, our cleanup hitter is now batting leadoff, and our leadoff is now batting cleanup.
Well, Martel's job here is to settle things down, as Brookline getting behind the 8-ball early, allowing 7 runs.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, his job is throw strikes, and the fielders behind him, their job is to show him that he can throw strikes without getting in trouble. Minimize the mistakes and get those outs.
So throwing strikes early will give him confidence. Here's the first pitch of the inning to Scooter Beverly. And it misses outside. Beverly walked and scored in the first inning. Came in to score on a misplayed ball by the right fielder. Martel will miss high with this offering. 53 degrees at game time, so we're still waiting for those warm temperatures to invade New England.
Yeah, we had a nice, warm, and sunny day yesterday, but New England is a fickle beast.
Called strike on the inside corner. Framingham put 8 runs on the board yesterday, and they've almost matched that total so far today. Good fastball by Martel, and it's cut on and missed.
Now he's got 2-2. He's got to throw in the strike zone. Tack him, get him out. Or not.
Fastball will miss high. Count 3-2. We are in the top half of the second inning. Bay State League action here on ASPN HD. And this one will be sliced off to the left. Giving it a look briefly, the left fielder Declan Tracy.
Yeah, he's having some luck with the inside pitches. He's able to hit those corners and jam the batters. If he can keep that up, that could be a weapon for him.
Again, Roach is at second base, as Jesse told you. Fastball will miss high, and there will be a leadoff walk for Framingham here in the second inning. Beverly draws a free pass for the second time in the game. That is the 5th walk issued by Brookline pitching.
Yeah, for comparison's sake, Brookline got 6 walks all game yesterday.
So here is Duffy. Alex Duffy, who had a 2-for-2 game yesterday for the Flyers. Pitch misses high for ball 1. Duffy also walked in the first inning and came around to score.
And if I'm the coach, I'm thinking my pitcher's got to bring those pitches down. Owen Roach was having so much trouble getting his pitches down and in the zone, and now Martel is having the same problem.
This one will miss low, and you know,
and I'm jinxing him now.
You know, tendencies are what you look for. The coaching staff, they study pitchers, they study tendencies, and those tendencies sometimes develop during the course of a game. And this fastball will miss low and away. Sun trying to peek through the clouds. Considerable cloud cover right now at Warren Field, but really no risk of any rain. Here's the pitch. Off speed, good pitch on the inside corner for a called strike.
Yes. Get those strikes in there, but don't just stop with the 3-0 freebies that you get. Keep going. Keep hitting that zone.
Runner at first. Martel deals, and a good fastball there, tailing away, and it's cut on and missed.
And that's a tough thing. I keep saying attack the zone, but I mean, when you're at the high school level, it's not like every pitch is going exactly where they want it to go, so it can be tough to find that rhythm.
Brookline's defense at double play depth as there's a swing and a miss. Strike 3, so Duffy is down on strikes. That will be the first out for the Flyers here in the second inning, and that'll bring up Mutafas, the first baseman, Angelo Mutafas. He walked with the bases loaded in the first inning to force in a run, and he himself came around to score. First pitch from Martel is a fastball too low. 1 ball, no strikes. Brookline sent 4 men to the plate in the bottom of the first. Unable to put a dent in this Framingham lead. Martel with a long set. And the breaking pitch is in the dirt, and the runner will advance. That'll be a stolen base, as the ball was secured by the catcher. So Scooter Beverly on up to second base.
Yeah, that one was tough. Jasper Reed can be so good at covering the back of the plate, but on that time he just kind of lost track of it and under his feet.
This pitch in the dirt. Nice stop there by Reed. As you know, that's an important play there, Jesse, because if you let that ball get by you, now you've got a runner at third with 1 out, and a fly ball can get the run home.
Absolutely.
And Martel will check in here, and a pickoff attempt unsuccessful.
Yeah, that was a nice sneaky move by Shorgy. He signaled for the pitcher, started moving back to the bag, but throw just on the wrong side of the bag.
Yeah, Shorgy was in position to make the play. The throw was a little bit on the low side, just unable to secure it. Martel deals. This one's in there at the knees. Good fastball there. Runner at second with 1 away. John Leahy with Jesse Mayfield Sheehan and our entire ASPN HD crew from Warren Field here in Brookline. Big cut and a miss there. Runner in scoring position. Framingham hopes to build on this 7-0 lead. This pitch is lifted high in the air, well hit, left center, coming on in and out. The shortstop, and making the catch is Shorgy. That will be out number 2.
Good play there by Shorgy. Good job tracking the ball, and that almost got a little dangerous there as Ryan Kravitz was coming in under his legs. I was getting flashbacks to Johnny Damon and Damian Jackson in that 03 ALCS.
Oakland,
just to,
right?
The ALDS, just to date myself a little bit.
That's why communication is key on a play like that.
Absolutely.
Center fielder's coming in on the ball, and he usually has the best viewpoint. But here's the DH, Messer, and the fastball is up under his chin.
Yeah, and what's tough about a play like that is Kravitz didn't play yesterday, so he's an in and out of the lineup kind of guy, whereas Shorgy is a regular, so they don't necessarily have the same level of communication there.
Martel will step off, and that will bring Beverly back to second. Beverly runs very well, so he will score on any ball that's sharply hit in a gap. Fastball in the dirt. Another good stop by Reed. He's made a couple of good plays back there for Brookline.
He has. You know, I talked about defensive bright spots yesterday. He was definitely one of them. No wild pitches, no pass balls, nothing got past him, and there were a few that had chances.
Martel has the sign. And he'll miss in the dirt. Reed will take a chance down to second, and Shorgy with a nice play there. He had the second baseman backing up the play, but scooting back is Scooter Beverly.
You know, and I do actually kind of like the aggression there. That was a risk, but you know, Reed's a good defensive player. Shorgy's a good defensive player, and they showed it. Throw was a little off, but Shorgy backed it up nicely, so no damage.
Martel looking for that final out. This pitch is in the dirt, and Reed very active to block that one.
The hitter gets the free trot down to first.
That was ball 4 indeed. Messer will draw a walk. Messer, by the way, in his first at bat, reached on an error and scored. So the Flyers have runners at first and second with 2 away.
If nothing else, that walk gives them a force in multiple spots now.
Chris Kelly, the batter. And he'll take a called strike. Kelly walked with the bases loaded, picking up an RBI in the first. He also scored. First and second for the Flyers with 2 away. Framingham on top 7-0.
Oh, they caught him. They caught him between the bags.
Yes. And they will get the final out of the inning.
What did I say? I love that aggression.
Indeed.
Jasper Reed getting it going. Great read of where the base runner was. And he didn't see that throw coming at all. He was completely frozen. And then Rothman didn't try to play hero, didn't throw too quick, didn't try and chase him.
Yeah.
You know, and timed it well, and Shorgy with a nice tag.
So the caught stealing goes 2-3-6, and that's it. So Framingham is out in the second. There were no runs in the inning. There were no hits. There were no errors. And Framingham will leave 1. We've played an inning and a half from Warren Field in Brookline. Our score, Framingham 7 and Brookline 0.
If nothing else, that half inning was a bit of a bright spot. They faced some challenges. A guy got into scoring position, but they kept their cool and they made some nice plays.
And most importantly, from a Brookline point of view, you put a 0 up on the scoreboard after that tough first inning.
Yeah.
And now the Warriors looking to bounce back. Brookline's still looking for their first hit of the year.
Yeah.
They were no hit yesterday. And Brendan O'Connor hoping that his offense can get going. Brendan O'Connor just hired as Brookline's head coach. There's a long coaching history here in Brookline.
Yeah.
That we will be talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, we talk about the craziness of coming back after the missed year last year and then having to come in as a new coach in that same situation in a year as weird as 2021. Mm-hmm. The season's pushed back later than it's supposed to be because you got to accommodate the fall 2 sports that couldn't be played in the normal fall season. I mean, all that craziness, and you're trying to learn this new team that you've just joined. I feel for the guy.
Well, he's got a lot of experience here in Brookline, and they have a lot of confidence that he can get the job done. So Annis will lead off for Brookline here in the bottom of the second. He'll take the first pitch up high.
Yep. This is a guy that I definitely want to see get his bat on the ball. He had such trouble yesterday. 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts.
Ramsey Annis will cut and miss here. Good curveball there by Thurber, who had a solid first inning. Struck out 2 of the 4 hitters he faced. Also hit a man. And Annis will loop this one in the infield. Third baseman in position to make the play, Kelly. That's going to represent the first out of the inning. Annis out on a pop to third.
Yeah, no, they haven't had much luck with the couple balls they've put in play, but you know what? Keep doing it. This is the high school level. There's no such thing as a routine play at this level. Keep putting balls in play, and eventually you're going to catch a break.
Jack Martel, the batter. Martel started the game at second, and he's now on the mound as he fouls it back. Count 0-1.
Yesterday, Martel went 0 for 2 with a walk and 2 strikeouts. So we know he has the ability to work deep into those counts. But once again, get that bat on the ball and get it in play. Make things happen.
Thurber's pitch is a good one. Called strike inside corner. Brookline will play Weymouth next. And that'll be over at Libby Field. Framingham will play their arch rival Natick coming up. A home game in Framingham. And this pitch is an off-speed pitch that's going to miss away.
Yeah, it seems like the umpire's got a tighter zone on the outside than he does on the inside, regardless of which way the batter is hitting, lefty or righty.
Thurber's pitch. This one's lifted high in the air to the right side of the infield. First baseman in position to make the play there. as putting it away is Mutafas. That'll represent the second out of the inning.
You know, given that ump's strike zone, given how he seems to really favor close pitches to the inside versus the outside, that's an asset for pitchers to jam their batters and get those pop-outs like we just saw right there.
First pitch to Rothman, the first baseman, will miss for ball one. These two teams will play again over in Framingham on the 21st of the month. 2 weeks from today, the pitch. This one's hit in the air out into left field, and this one's going to drop. There's Brookline's first hit of the year. Rothman on his way to second. He'll get there with a stand-up double.
That was very nicely hit. Nice clean swing. Got all of it and dropped it. It was close. The left fielder was getting on his horse.
Yep.
But, you know, good effort from him there, but nothing doing. And not just the first hit, but also the first extra base hit.
Right.
Clean double.
Here's Leander Grossling. Grossling did not have an at-bat in yesterday's game as he takes a called strike.
That's right. He just played the third base position. Like I said, Gosling, a bright spot there. He had 1 putout and 3 assists in the field yesterday. We'll see what he can do at the plate.
Gosling takes this pitch inside.
And oh my God, did they call a balk?
We have a runner advancing on the play, yes. Looks like a balk indeed. That'll put a runner at third with 2 away.
And I don't care how many times it's explained to me. The balk is always going to be one of the weirdest rule in baseball.
Yep. Gosling, a right-handed hitter with an RBI chance here.
And you know what's funny is he wore number 12 yesterday, but now they're wearing different jerseys, and now he's wearing number 7.
Yeah, that's a common thing in high school.
Yeah, but it's never everybody in the lineup. It's always like 1 or 2 guys.
Checked his swing, and that's in there for a called strike. So Brookline threatening to get on the board here. They'll need a base hit, though, to make that happen. Or
base hit, sac fly.
Wild pitch would also
put it in play and get out of the infield.
Off-speed pitch from Thurber will miss low and away. 7-0 Framingham as we play here in the bottom half of the second inning of this 7-inning affair. Big cut and a miss, and Gosling is down on strikes, and that will do it for Brookline. In the second inning, there were no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and they leave a runner at third. Brookline has left 2 on through the first 2 innings. We have played 2 here at Warren Field in Brookline. Your score, Framingham 7 and Brookline 0. As the Flyers will come up here in this third inning, it'll be the lower third of the order due. It'll be Kelly, followed by Connolly and Rivera. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be back with the top of the third in just a moment.
Things could be stranger, but I don't know how.
We welcome you back to Warren Field here in Brookline. We have a 7-0 ball game. Framingham up on top. The lower third of the order will be due here. Kelly, followed by Connolly, and then Rivera. Final line on Roach. He went 1 inning, and these are unofficial. This is the unofficial total because we don't know what was called a hit and an error, but we're going to give you the unofficial total as the pitch misses. Actually, it's a called strike to Kelly, 0-1. Roach 1 inning, 2 hits, 7 runs, 4 walks, no strikeouts. Kelly, a right-handed hitter. He'll take a called strike here. Kelly was at the plate when that caught stealing occurred to end the second.
Yes.
So he had a bases loaded walk and an RBI. He also scored a run for Brookline in the first inning. Off-speed pitch from Jack Martel misses. Martel into his second inning of work.
Yeah.
And wiggled out of some trouble there in that second inning.
And you know, you can see the confidence already. When have we seen a single Framingham player face an 0-2 count before this hitter?
Right. This pitch is in the dirt.
That's what a good defensive stand like what they had in the second inning can do.
Right.
Especially when your defense is backing you up. Without them even putting a ball in play, you get a nice play like what Reed, Rothman, and Shorgy did to finish the inning.
And he holds back the swing on a pitch low and away. Brookline wants to appeal. And they want to know whether he went around. He did not, so the count will be 2-2 to the leadoff man, Kelly. Chris Kelly, a senior. Martel could really benefit from a quick inning here. He'll miss high. Actually, that was a 3-2 pitch. My apologies. And it's a walk.
And I jinxed him again. I said, how great is it he pitched 2 quick strikes, got the 0-2 count, and then just like that, 4 straight balls, and it's a walk.
So that'll bring up the number 8 man in the order, Connolly. Roach faced 11 batters. Martel
this
came
one's going
in the
into
second. Yep, fly ball right center. This one's going to be hauled in.
Oh,
and the runner has to scamper back. Do they have a chance? Oh, he gets back. A fly out to right by Connolly. Hit the ball right on the screws, and a nice catch by Annis in right field.
Yeah, nice little bit of redemption for Annis there because he had the error in the first inning that cost them a couple of runs. He gets a nice catch there, and they almost get the pickoff attempt. I loved Rothman charging towards the throw. Almost managed to scoop it up and make the tag, just wasn't in the position.
Here is Antonio Rivera. Rivera drove in a run with a sacrifice fly his first time. There's a grounder right to the shortstop, and they'll get the out at second, and that's all they'll get. 6-4 will go the putout. Rivera hitting it sharply, and Shorgy able to get the out at second on the force play.
You know, like we were talking about with high school, no such thing as, you know, a routine play. A play like that at the professional level, which again, we can take for granted those fielders' abilities, that would be a routine double play in the pros. But here, you've really got to move fast because otherwise it's not going to work out. But you know what? They got the out.
That's the important thing, yeah.
And they got the lead runner on top of that, so.
Cody Coleman is the batter. He has popped to short and reached on an error by the third baseman. Martel will miss downstairs with the first offering, ball 1. Story of this one, Brookline falling behind early. Framingham with 7 runs in the first as they sent 11 men to the plate. And they took advantage of some wildness by the starter Roach, who issued 4 walks in that first inning. Good fastball will crackle in. They'll attempt to get the runner at second, and they will on the caught stealing. 2-6. And as it turns out, the minimum number of batters are faced in that inning. Rivera is caught stealing. And that's it for Framingham in the third inning. For the Flyers, no runs. There were no hits. There was 1 error and nobody left. And we played 2.5 innings here at Warren Field in Brookline. Framingham with the 7-0 lead.
Great throw again by Jasper Reed. I am loving watching this kid work behind the plate. You know, we gave him some praise for, you know, blocking stuff behind the plate, not letting anything get by him. You know, he had that one pitch in the dirt that he lost underneath his feet. But these past couple innings have both ended with him catching a guy stealing. And a nice move there by the second baseman, Owen Roach, to get there in position to make that play there.
And what Reed has also done well in this game is just blocking pitches in the dirt. That's so vital for a catcher, especially with runners on base and scoring position. And Reed has a lot of confidence back there.
Yeah, and justifiably so, as we can see.
Yep. Thurber for Framingham will enter his third inning of work, as Brookline will send the 9-1-2 hitters to the plate. It'll be Tracy, Roach, and then Kravitz. Well, you're watching high school baseball here on ASPN HD. You can see the replays on ASPNHD.com. Our producer, Arlen Shostak, who is well known in these parts here in Brookline. He's been a coach here in Brookline for decades. Yeah. Chris Murphy also on staff with us here today. And it is the behind-the-scenes folks that are important. They are the ones that deserve all the credit.
Yep. And, you know, Arlen's going to tell us not to make him the story, but I'll tell you, working with him, I feel like every time I come out to a game with him, he's like Norm on Cheers. He walks in, everybody's like, yeah. Oh, hey, Arlen, I remember you from so-and-so. And he's like, oh, yeah, I coached your kid, or I coached you, or I coached your sister, whatever.
Yep.
Everybody knows him, and that just, you know, those ties to the area.
Arlen has coached Little League baseball in this town for many years. He's coach of the Orioles Little League team, and picked up their first win recently, 4-3. So congratulations to them. Brookline coming up here in the third. Declan Tracy will get us started. Tracy, the left fielder, left-handed hitter for the Warriors. As Nathan Thurber into his third inning of work. He's going to miss with the first offering, ball one.
Yeah. You don't see a lot of lefty hitters with this Brookline team. You know, some other teams might be able to mix you up with a couple of southpaws, but Brookline's really usually going to average about one in their lineup at any given time.
Thurber missing with the first two offerings, count of 2-0. Back to the top of the order, Roach and then Kravitz here for Brookline in the third inning. Off speed is inside. Thurber 3-0. I don't have the confirmation on this, but this may be the first 3-ball count for Thurber in this game.
Yeah, no, Tracy, not one of the bigger players out there, so working that strike zone can be kind of tough as he catches the corner on that one.
Yeah, taken all the way, 3-0. So.
Yeah, and the thing is, like we said, this umpire really favors inside pitches, but when you got a shorter player, you don't have that longer torso area where you don't risk hitting the batter as much.
The green light, 3-1, and now Thurber back with a full count.
Yes.
Sign of a good pitcher. They don't panic when they get down in the count 3-0 because you have the confidence to throw strikes.
And you have the confidence of a 7-0 lead.
But he'll miss on the 3-2 fastball. Yeah, that's a big part of it as well. Tracy draws a walk. Brookline has the leadoff man on. It's the first time in this game that Brookline has had the leadoff man on. The Warriors have had a runner each inning. Back to the top of the order. And Roach will step in. He was called out on strikes first time. And the pitch misses high, ball one. Roach began the game as the starting pitcher. Owen Roach gave up 7 runs in that first inning. He is now in the game at second base as he switched with Jack Martel. This fastball in for a strike. They'll check in down at first, and Tracy back to the bag safely.
Yeah. The thing about Tracy is he's one of those guys that if he's not in the lineup, he might be used as a courtesy runner. So got to be smart on the bags, and right there he got back very easily.
Thurber will crackle a strike in here.
Again, that inside corner. That's what you got to work with today's umpire.
Framingham is at double play depth in the infield. And the right-hander will deal. And this pitch is fouled straight back.
You know, he's hopping around. He's frustrated he didn't get all that one. Maybe he's frustrated he swung at it, but I like the swing at everything kind of approach. Keep you in the at-bat, give you a chance to make something happen.
There's a lot to be said for being aggressive, but in an intelligent way.
Yes.
Thurber at the belt. He'll try the breaking ball, off-speed pitch that misses low and outside. We are in the bottom of the third if you're just tuning in. Framingham with a 7-0 lead. Flyers scoring all 7 of their runs in the top of the first. Thurber with a quick toss to first, and back to the bag safely is Tracy.
You know what it is? They're jealous of all the guys Jasper Reed's thrown out so far. They're like, we can do that too.
Absolutely. Coleman, the catcher behind the plate for Framingham. And this pitch is on the inside corner, called strike 3, but it'll be a stolen base for Tracy as he will get up into scoring position. And so Brookline will have a runner at second with 1 away as Roach is called out for the second time in this game. And here's Kravitz. He'll take a called strike. Kravitz grounded to second in his first at bat. He's 0 for 1.
Yep. That's really tough. If I'm batting in this game, I really feel like you swing at almost everything that's inside because I see it. I'm saying it again and again, but this ump really favors close balls on the inside corner versus the outside.
Swung over the top of that one.
Yeah, he had a nice curve on that one.
Right. Thurber's been able to mix up his pitches pretty well.
Yeah.
He's got the curveball going for him. He's also been able to spot his fastball well. This one is swung on and tapped back toward the mound. Thurber will have just the 1 play to first, and he'll execute that successfully. The runner will have to hold at second, so Kravitz is thrown out by the pitcher. That's a 1-3 ground out. 2 away for Brookline here in the third, and Skorgi will step in.
Yeah. Yeah, you could tell that Tracy at second, he was thinking about going and thinking about not. And, if you're Brookline, you really wish he went because a high bouncer like that, that's a chance. And you got to be aggressive when you're down 7 runs.
Skorgi was hit by a pitch in the first, was left stranded. And the The fastball is in there for a called strike from Thurber. 0-1.
Yeah. You know, again, Shorgy, a guy who's can be pretty good at getting on base usually, whether it's through base hits or walks. So you certainly hope to see him, you know, slap something out.
Tracy playing a game of cat and mouse out there at second base. Shorgy with a RBI opportunity. Pitches fouled straight back. Shorgy, the shortstop for the Warriors today, and in the game yesterday he was 0 for 3 with a strikeout, so he's still looking for his first hit of the year. The pitch is inside for a ball.
Almost hit him on that one. That's how close the pitcher's got to be for him to call an inside ball. You got to almost hit the guy.
Yep. Thurber at the belt, and here's the deal. Shorgy swings and lifts a foul off to the right. Nice athletic complex here in Brookline. Got some people exercising and doing various athletic activities here. Nice place to watch a game. Right-hander Thurber deals, and Shorgy will line this one into right field for a base hit. Tracy will stop at third. So Shorgy goes to the opposite field, and he picks up the base hit. He's been on base twice. Brookline will have first and third with 2 away.
That was a nice swing. It was very similar to what he showed on that foul ball just before that. Thurber gave him a similar kind of look, but a little bit lower. He timed up the pitch just a little bit better than on the foul ball, sent it opposite field for the single. And I know I was talking about the aggressiveness of Tracy not running to third. On that scenario, I actually liked it. Shallow right field, you don't want to risk running to home on that one.
Here's Reed. Reed struck out swinging to end the first. Jasper Reed, the catcher. Check swing on a high fastball, and he went around too far. Strike one. Reed wearing a face mask. Now, is that mandatory or is it optional at the high school level?
I think it's mandatory for the offensive players. If you take a look at the base runners on the bases, you'll see they're also wearing masks.
Yes.
It's just the defensive players don't have to.
Reed went after that high fastball, and he swings and misses. And
he wanted that one.
You know, we're getting back to normal, Jesse, slow but sure. It's great to have baseball back. As we talked yesterday, the COVID-19 pandemic wiped it all out last year.
Get your vaccines, people.
Absolutely. Here's the pitch. And there's a swing and a foul straight back.
Jasper Reed, he's one of those more explosive guys, but what comes with that is also the risk of taking those big cuts and just whiffing on them, or getting underneath them for just like a high pop-up for an easy out.
He's got a chance for an RBI here. Runners at the corners, 2 away. 7-0 Framingham is your score. Thurber deals. Reed with a good swing there, fouling it off to the right.
Yeah, he's working him inside again. Just, it's hard if you're taking those big cuts to get anything off of those inside jamming pitches.
Ennis on deck. He's hoping to have a chance here in the third for Brookline. This one's in the dirt. Nice stop by Coleman with a backhanded stab.
That's what those foul balls do. They keep you in the at-bat. You know, so pitcher can start making some mistakes.
Thurber trying to work out of a jam here in the bottom of the third inning. The right-hander deals. This one's lifted high to the left side, and will someone have a play on it? It is the left fielder coming in, and it's caught. Making the play was the left fielder, Scooter Beverly, and that's the final out of the inning.
Wow.
We had 3 multiple players converging on that. Brookline threatens, but they don't score. No runs, 1 hit. There were no errors, and the Warriors leave a pair. Brookline has left 4 through the first 3 innings, and your score after 3 here at Warren Field in Brookline, it is Framingham 7, Brookline 0.
You know what? After an impressive play like that, I just got to say wow. I mean, I was thinking, okay, the third baseman's under it. No, the shortstop's under it. No, the left fielder is under it. all three players really got on their horse there. It seemed like Reed was either going to get away with a foul ball or maybe something that just drops in for a hit. But, credit to Beverly. Nice catch.
On a play like that, a pop fly where you have infielders and outfielders converging, the outfielder always seems to have the inside track because he's coming in on the ball.
Yes.
His line of vision is such that he's coming in on the ball. The infielders are going out with their backs to the plate. So it's the outfielder. We talked about communication. It's the outfielder who has to take charge.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's sort of how there's like a stack of priority in a sense. When it's the infield, give priority call to the shortstop. The captain of the infield, he makes the call. But then once the outfield gets involved, what the outfielders say go. Like you said, they're coming in. They have a better viewpoint of the ball because they're not trying to look over their shoulder. So that's how it typically goes.
We will move along to the top half of the fourth inning. Framingham scheduled to have the top of the order due. Coleman, Thurber, and Beverly. Coleman, you might recall, was at the plate when Rivera was caught stealing to end that third inning. So Jack Martel into his third inning, and Brendan O'Connor here, he would like to see Martel go as deep in this game as he can, save bullpen arms if possible.
Absolutely.
But Martel seeming to grow in confidence as this game progresses.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You come in, your team's in a 7-run hole, and you come in with the multiple players on base that he was facing when he first came in that first inning. That could be really tough, but you know what? After that, he settled down, started pitching with more confidence, and what has helped is his defense has backed him up.
Here's Coleman to lead it off, and the first pitch will miss inside ball one. Coleman has popped the short and reached on an error by the third baseman, so he is officially 0 for 2. Jack Martel with an off-speed pitch that was over but low.
Bit of irony, isn't it, that of all the hits that they've gotten over this game, it's the leadoff hitter that has had no luck thus far.
Coleman will swing and ground this one to third, and the play will be made for out number one. Nice play down there by Grossling. That'll be the first out of the inning. Coleman is out on a 5-3 grounder.
Yep. Solid grab, laser throw by Grossling. A little bit low, but you know what? Give credit to Eli Rothman over at first base. That was nice stretch out and a nice grab at the low glove. Anyone who's ever played first base in baseball tells you the hardest thing to get is those low ones right near the dirt. Maybe it takes a weird hop, but Rothman made it look easy.
Well, here's Thurber. Pitch misses high for a ball. Thurber is 2 for 2 in this game with a couple of base hits. He was also caught stealing in that second inning. Fastball, a good one from Martel in there for a called strike. Martel, the tall right-hander. He'll fire a fastball into the knees. Good pitch. He's spotting his pitches very nicely.
He is. He's not necessarily the most powerful pitcher, doesn't necessarily have any crazy curves on him, but he's placing his balls very well. Work those fundamentals.
He wanted that one, a fastball at the knees.
Every time I compliment a person, they immediately do the opposite. I'm getting my year's worth of a quota of announcer jinxes, aren't I?
Batter asking for time here. As Martel with an off-speed pitch will miss low and away. Glad to be with you here in Brookline as we bring you Bay State League baseball. Framingham and Brookline, these two longtime Bay State rivals. And ball 4 will miss downstairs. Thurber draws the walk.
Yep. And if you're Brookline, you're thinking, don't revert back to this. Don't go back to missing the zone. But Martel has started off innings like this before, and he's rebounded nicely before. So I would expect him to do the same if patterns hold.
Well, that was the 4th walk issued by Martel. Called strike inside corner to Scooter Beverly. You talk about walks. Beverly has walked twice in this game. Scored a run in the first on a misplayed ball by the right fielder. Martel will work out of the stretch Beverly will take a fastball up and away. Well, you know, walks will come back and kill you. Brookline has issued 8 walks in this game. More often than not, guys that walk come around to score. Martel will miss low and inside here, and Scooter Beverly is a guy you need to keep off the base paths.
Yeah. And you saw there, Reed was thinking about going for another pickoff attempt, but the runner this time got back swiftly.
Thurber with about a 2.5-step lead at first. Beverly swings and misses at the off-speed pitch, and a close play at first. Thurber just barely gets back to the bag in time.
Yeah, and that was another nice grab by Rothman, because that was another low throw, but he scooped it out easily and almost made a really nice tag.
Reed gets that ball down to first quickly, doesn't he?
Yeah.
That snap throw. Essential for a catcher. Martel ready. And the fastball will miss downstairs.
Well, we talk about Jasper Reed. He's a multi-sport athlete. Also plays defense for the BHS hockey team. And, you know, that arm is something you also got to need if you're going to have a mean slap shot from the back line. So,
where is Brookline playing their hockey games these days?
well, they didn't have any home games this past winter because typically
in a normal scenario, where would they play?
In a normal scenario, they play at the same arena as the BU women's hockey team.
So that would be Walter Brown Arena.
Yes, Walter Brown Arena is where they usually play. The girls hockey team managed to swing a chance to play at Warrior Arena, actually, the Bruins practice facility. Had a chance to cover a couple games there. That's a really nice facility.
Only seen it from the outside. There's a pickoff play, very close, but the runner back.
Yeah, it's something else, and it was something else also to see the playoffs for the National Women's Hockey League being played at that place, because like, oh my gosh, I've been there.
Yeah. That's one venue I haven't done a game from. Pitch is loop foul. I've been fortunate for the last 16 years to do play-by-play for Merrimack men's hockey and Hockey East, and I've seen a lot of arenas over the course of my career, but Warrior Ice Arena is one that I have not had a chance to see.
Well, if you're going to have a conference to do college hockey in, you can't do much better than the Hockey East.
Absolutely. This one's fouled back toward the backstop. Well, while we're on that subject, got to give props to UMass for winning the national championship Division I hockey. Minutemen very impressive with their win over St. Cloud to seal the deal out in Pittsburgh.
I would have said it, but I didn't want to show my bias as an alum.
Oh, so you went to Amherst.
Class of 2015, baby.
There you go.
And they were bottom feeders in the Hockey East when I was there.
Yeah, well,
I'm like, man, where was this ride when I was going there?
I have done many games at the Mullins Center. It's one of my favorite buildings to work in. Certainly have a high vantage point from up there, but it's not even the highest in Hockey East. The XL Center in Hartford is the highest. You're on the roof. This one's fouled straight back. The broadcast location at the XL Center is where the Whalers broadcaster used to do the game from, and you have to walk on a catwalk to get to the top of you're on the roof doing the game in Hartford.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that would freak me out.
I love it though. I love watching games from up there.
I'm scared of heights. I might just panic.
I pop, and it'll be Reed, the catcher, who makes the play behind the plate.
The guy who started us on our little hockey-related tangent comes through with the catch there.
Beverly fouling out to the catcher. That is out number 2 for Framingham here in the 4th, and here is Duffy, the center fielder. Duffy with a walk and a strikeout. He is 0 for 1. And he also scored in that 7-run Framingham first. And a pickoff move here. Runner back. Framingham scoring 7 runs in that first inning, and the big reason why were the walks issued by Brookline pitching. The starter, Roach, walked 4 in that first inning.
Yeah, it was a combination of everything, but walks were definitely a huge factor. You had the walks, you had the errors, you had some clean hits as well.
Yeah, there were 2 Brookline errors in that first inning unofficially, and I've got them as having 3 errors for the ball game.
Yeah. And again, unofficial, but I had them with 5 errors yesterday. So that's one thing they got to settle down here early in the season.
Martel fires the fastball, and it's cut on and missed by Duffy. He'll be followed by Mutafas. He'll hope to have a chance to bat for the Flyers here in the 4th inning. Framingham on top 7-0. Martel with the off-speed pitch, and that's going to miss. Like a curveball low and in the dirt.
You know, we talk about trying to get the execution of things better, and like we talked about, these teams have not necessarily played together outside of maybe summer ball for a couple of years now.
Big swing and a miss. Good to see the Cape Cod League getting back going this summer. A lot of great talent passes through there.
Yes.
And there's a swing and a miss at a high fastball. Martel picks up the strikeout. So he works around the walk. Framingham in that 4th inning. They do not score. There were no runs, no hits, there were no errors. And the Flyers leave 1. We have played 3.5 here at Warren Field in Brookline. Framingham 7, Brookline nothing on ASPN HD.
Yeah, Brookline has definitely settled things down defensively. They've had, they've had misplays here and there, walks here and there, but ultimately they've been getting out of the innings clean. It's time for the offense to do something.
Well, Brookline has had their chances the last couple of innings. They had a 2-out base runner in the 2nd when Rothman doubled. They could not get that run home. And then for the first time in the game, Jesse, they had 2 base runners in the 3rd. They got a runner as far as 3rd, but Reed flied out to left to end the inning. So Brookline, they've had their chances, but they hope the bottom of the 4th will be a lucky inning for them.
Yeah, they certainly had their struggles with stranding runners in the last game as well. Just looking at the count here, and they stranded 7 total runners over the course of that first game, and that's even with going hitless. They still found ways to strand runners because they would get on base through walks or other means, but got to come through with those timely hits.
Well, Thurber, if he can get through this inning, he could qualify for a win, as he's going to face here in the 4th inning Annis, Martel, and Rothman. Thurber has scattered just 2 hits over the first 3 innings. He has walked 1 while striking out 4. So it's been a decent outing for him.
Yes. Yeah, no, he's done a solid job. It's not quite the insane level of dominance that we saw from Wellesley's Kyle McCausland yesterday, where he went 4 hitless innings with 9 strikeouts. But Thurber's still been dealing, and he's been getting out of the innings every time.
All right, Annis will lead us off. He was out on a pop to 3rd his first time. He's 0 for 1. And Thurber's first offering. Annis had a notion, laid back, but it's in for a called strike. 0-1. Five, 6, 7 in the order for Brookline here in the 4th. Off-speed pitch will miss downstairs. We're even up at a ball and a strike.
Always feels weird to me to say even up at a ball and a strike, because as he fouls this one off, because technically you're closer to a strikeout than you are to a walk when it's 1-1, just like you are when it's 0-0. Like, it literally starts advantage pitcher.
Broadcaster preference, though.
Yeah, no, it's the same number, so it just feels more natural to say that.
The 1-2 to Annis, and he'll take that one in the dirt. Count evened up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. As I mentioned, these 2 teams will play one more time. That'll be over in Framingham. This one's fouled straight back. Framingham's such a nice town. You know, they have, goes right through Route 9. You've got Shoppers World out there. You got a lot of great things, a lot of restaurants along there.
Yeah.
Framingham is a super town. Shoppers World, I believe, is in that town as well. This one swung on the ground, and the third baseman in position. And making the play is Kelly. That's the first out for Brookline here in the fourth. Annis retired, one gone.
You know, tough to see the out, but I'll tell you, I like the contact. I like getting the bat on the ball, putting it in play, and making the defense make a play.
Here's Martel. 0 for 1. He popped up to the first baseman his first time. Thurber will miss high with the first offering, ball one. It's not getting much warmer as the day goes on. Cut on and missed. I would say the temperature's probably in the upper 50s right now. Here at Warren Field in Brookline, part of the sprawling athletic complex here in Brookline. Off speed and a beauty. Cut on and missed.
Yeah. Last thing, if the Brookline Parks Department has put together a couple of nice places. You got Warren Field. I don't know if Waldstein's still under construction. I came back to town shortly before the pandemic, so I wish I knew more.
Lifted in the air, right side, and coming on in to make the catch is the right fielder Rivera. That'll be the second out. Martel hits it well, but right at the right fielder, 2 away.
Yeah, that's got to feel frustrating. You get a nice contact on it, you hit a laser out there, but you know the right fielder does his job and makes the catch.
Here's the first baseman Rothman, 1 for 1. He picked up a double his first time, the first hit of the year for Brookline. He'll smack this one on the ground into left field, but it's a foul ball, not by much.
That was close. I thought he had another double. So that looked like that was going to go down the line for extra bases.
Framingham will have the 5, 6, 7 hitters due in the 5th inning. Remember, it's a 7-inning ball game, as is customary in high school baseball. And a big cut and a miss by Rothman. He trails in the count 0-2. Thurber has consistently gotten ahead of the hitters in this one. And that's been a large part of his success. The 0-2 and a cut and a miss. That'll do it for the Warriors in the 4th inning. Rothman retired on the strikeout. That is the first 1-2-3 inning of the game for Thurber. Brookline will go down in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We have played 4 here at Warren Field in Brookline. Framingham with a 7-0 lead on ASPN HD.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
We welcome you back to Warren Field here in Brookline. Along with Jesse Mayfield Sheehan and our entire crew, I'm John Leahy. 7-0 Framingham here in the top of the 5th. And the first pitch here is lifted high in the air, center field, and 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 5th as Boutafas flies to center. And he is now 0 for 2 with a walk and an RBI. So that's exactly what Martel wants, gets an out on that first pitch.
Yep. Those are the kind of plays that let you know, hey, your defense has got your back. They're going to make the plays out in the outfield. Nice play out there in center by Ryan Kravitz.
Here's the DH Messer. He's reached on an error and walked. 0 for 1 officially. Messer scored a run in that 7-run first. He walked in the second and then was caught stealing.
It'd almost be easier to say who didn't score in that first inning. 7 out of 9 players.
Yeah.
Almost the entire lineup.
Well, they scored 7 and left 1. And that's been the story. That's been the only scoring in this game. 7-0. Framingham on top. As the right-hander will kick and deal, and Martel misses low and away. And Coach O'Connor has to be happy with the fact that Martel has kind of stabilized this game for Brookline, not allowing any runs and giving them a fighting chance.
Absolutely.
Swinging a roller down to shortstop, and the ball is bobbled, and Messer will reach. That'll be an error on the shortstop. That's the 4th error for the Warriors in this game. And Shorgy charged with the error there.
Yep. What did I say earlier this game? You know, no such thing as a routine play at the high school level. Those kinds of errors are going to happen, and that's why you want to put the ball in play, even if it is just a little dribbler.
Here's Kelly, the third baseman. He has walked twice, one of them with the bases loaded for an RBI. Martel will check in at first, and did they get him? No.
Oh, Martel thought he had him.
Yeah.
Martel was hopping like he got him.
Messer's already been caught stealing once in this game, and came very close to being picked off there. And the pitch in the dirt. Reed will take a chance down to first, and Messer gets back. Unofficially, I've got 7 runs and 2 hits for Brookline. For Framingham, all in that first inning. The pitch is rolled down to third, and it's fielded in foul territory by Gosling.
Dang, have they really only gotten on base through walks and errors
Pretty
since
much.
that first
Yeah,
inning?
Pretty much.
Man.
There was one force-out grounder.
You know, I will say that is one of the things that I actually find to be very interesting and even entertaining about the high school game. You know,
Back to the backstop. That will advance the runner. It'll be a wild pitch. And Messer on up to second.
but the point I was making was all these little things, all these little mistakes, even a walk, they can all be so impactful. Instead of just waiting for the really big hit like you would at the college or pro level, these small ball strategies can really pay dividends at the high school level.
And this one is rolled foul, third base side. Brookline running out of time in this one. They've got to get their offense cranked up.
Yeah. No, if I'm the Brookline coach, I want to get at least 1 run before we get out of here. Say, hey, if we take away that disastrous first inning, we beat these guys.
Wow.
And also say, hey, we've gotten on the board. That's a monkey off our backs. We got our first hit and our first run.
Martel deals, line to the right field. That'll be a base hit. Runner will hit third, and he will attempt to score. The throw was
in time.
In time. Reed made the tag. It was a throw from right field, and Reed did a tremendous job blocking the ball and applying the tag.
That really was a tremendous, because you could see that was getting a little messy there. He juggled the ball. It was at his feet, and you were thinking, oh, no, there goes the chance. But he recovered it, applied the tag, and you know what? Even with the tough bounce, a laser of a throw from Ramsey Annis out in right field.
Kelly remained at first. He did not advance to second on the throw, so you've got 2 men out and a runner at first. And the pitch to Connolly is in there for a strike. Connolly is 1 for 2. He's got an RBI single, and he's also flied out to right. 1 for 2 with an RBI.
You know, I'll tell you, it's not too often that you get a base hit and your situation gets worse.
Pickoff move there, and back to the bag safely is Kelly. Well, good play all around by Annis with the throw, and then a tremendous tag by Reed. As this one is grounded foul outside of third. 7-run first for the Framingham Flyers. That, to this point, has been all they've needed. Brookline trying to get on the scoreboard for the first time this year. They were blanked by Wellesley in the season opener yesterday, and also failed to pick up a hit. Pitch to Connolly. Off-speed pitch, grounded down to second base, and this play will be made, and that will retire the side. Connolly grounds out 4-3, and it's Roach who makes the play. Framingham in the inning does not score. No runs, 1 hit. There was 1 error and 1 left. We've played 4.5 here at Warren Field in Brookline. Framingham with a 7-0 advantage.
And you know what I like about that last play? Again, no routine plays. Can't stress that enough. No routine plays at the high school level, and that was a grounder where the runner was running right in front of the ball. That can, throw you off sometimes, make it so you misplay the ball, especially if it takes a weird hop. Roach was patient. He didn't try and rush things. He let the ball come to him because he knew he had time. If it was a grounder to the other side of the infield, maybe they would have had to charge it and try and make something out of it because of that longer throw over to first, but Roach knew he had time and made the smart play.
Well, Nathan Thurber will be out for his 5th inning. He's already in a position to qualify for a victory, as with a 7-inning game, if you go 4, you qualify. So Thurber, who's pretty much been in command in this game, Jesse, he has worked out of trouble in back-to-back innings, the 2nd and 3rd. Brookline got a runner to 3rd in each of those 2 innings, but Thurber was able to work out of trouble, and he got a 1-2-3 4th inning. So he is still very much in command out there at the moment.
Yep. You made a really good point early in this game. You were talking about the kind of confidence that a pitcher gets when he gets something like a 7-run first inning from his offense. Then he knows, okay, I can deal.
I can settle in.
Yeah, I can just throw strikes, and if they get a big hit, oh no, it's 7-1. So
right.
He can afford to make mistakes, which means he's allowed to make the more aggressive plays. Also, his defense has been making plays behind him. Not a lot of errors from this Framingham defense thus far, and that helps with your pitcher's confidence.
8-9-1 for Brookline here in the 5th. Gosling, Tracy, and Roach. Numbers for Thurber through the first 4 innings. He has surrendered 2 hits, no runs, and he has fanned 5. He's only walked 1. Gosling was a strikeout victim in the 2nd inning. He struck out swinging. First offering is a check swing. A nubbed foul for strike 1. It's funny. I made the post on social media yesterday. Done broadcasting for 25 years. This is the first high school baseball game I've ever done.
Wow.
Here's the pitch. Inside. Done all the other high school sports, but never a high school baseball game. So.
And I get to be the color commentator for your first?
There you go.
I feel honored, man. That's cool.
You're in the history books, my friend. High fly to the right side, and it's out of play. Of course, many of the games I've done have been on radio, so moving over to TV is a little bit of an adjustment, but a fun one. Big swing and a miss. And that'll be strike 3. Chopping wood on that first. Last swing there by Gosling. He fans for the 2nd time. And here is Declan Tracy.
Took such a big cut on that one, and yet it still felt like a defensive swing, like he was trying to protect the plate with the 2-strike count.
Fastball was up around his eyes. Tracy goes the opposite way. Third baseman in on the grass, and Kelly makes the play. So 2 quick outs for Brookline here in the 5th. Tracy trying to slap that ball to the opposite field, but Kelly was in perfect position to make the play.
Yep. Like I said, part of what gives that pitcher confidence is that his fielders have been making plays behind him. I mean, has there even been an error yet by the Framingham fielders?
No. Flawless defense. Here's Roach. He's been called out on strikes twice. First pitch here misses low and away. Roach started the game on the mound, gave up 7 runs in the first, went over to second base in the 2nd inning. And he's been there ever since. Here's the pitch. This one skips up there, back to the backstop.
It's been a rough game for him thus far. And just as a sympathetic viewer, you certainly hope to see him get something out of this before he goes home.
Foul back to the screen. Our producer, director, and lead of the broadcast, Arlen Shostak. Chris Murphy also with us. I don't know where Chris is right now, but he is, trust me, he is part of the crew. And
he's not with us, but he usually is.
The Cracker Jack staff. As the pitch misses high. Bullpens are down the line. Framingham's is on the first base side. No one warming up. Brookline has activity in their pen as this pitch is fouled straight back. Brookline has a right-hander warming in their pen. So Perhaps Brendan O'Connor may be contemplating a pitching change. The pitch is in the dirt. But if he is, I'll tell you, he's got to be happy with the way Martel threw the ball today.
Oh, yes.
That's going to be ball 4, by the way, to Roach.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to be happy with how Martel came in
And
a
really
tough
stabilized the
situation.
game.
He did.
You
He
know?
really. I mean, it's been a scoreless game since Martel showed up.
So a 2-out base runner for Brookline. Roach draws the walk. Here's Kravitz. He's grounded to second and grounded back to the pitcher. He's 0 for 2. Fastball strike at the letters from Thurber, 0-1. And you wonder how long Matt Milano may want to stay with Thurber. Does he contemplate a change in the 6th inning? We'll see. As this pitch misses low.
Well, one thing is, up until Roach's at bat, this was a very smooth, fast-moving inning for Thurber, so keeps that pitch count low.
The right-hander working out of the stretch. And he drops this pitch inside, a little bit too far inside.
The other thing about keeping that pitch count down, you talked about, it hasn't had a ton of strikeouts. He's had a few, but not a ton, and he's had just now 2 walks thus far.
And this one is jammed on down to first base, but it's in foul territory, picked up by Mutafas in foul ground. Kind of a defensive swing there by Kravitz.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
On a pitch inside, jammed him.
And these are the kinds of at-bats, the ones that usually end in strikeouts or walks, that work up your pitch count. And Thurber just hasn't had a lot of those today, and that's probably why he's still pitching this late in the game.
Off-speed pitch, didn't miss by much.
Yeah, because yesterday Wellesley's Kyle McCausland struck out 9 through 4 innings, but he only lasted 4 innings because when you're throwing that many strikeouts, they get high in the count, and you work that pitch count up.
And he'll miss inside with this one, ball 4. So back-to-back 2-out walks issued by Thurber. Roach will advance to second on the walk. So Brookline trying to get something going, creating some 2-out magic as Shorgy will come to the plate. Shorgy has been perfect today. He's been hit by a pitch and then had an opposite field single in the 3rd inning.
Yep. He's had some really nice chances to drive in runs early this season, so you know he wants to get something here.
And there's a swing and a foul, top back to the backstop for strike 1.
Like you said, he had that opposite field single, just not deep enough to bring in Tracy from second. And then yesterday, he came up with the bases loaded and 2 out, and he flew out to left.
Thurber with the 0-1. And this one catches the inside corner, and he's ahead 0-2. Reed on deck. He's hoping to have a chance for Brookline here in the 5th. Warriors down 7-0 to Framingham. All 7 runs coming in the 1st. And the right-hander deals. And that's off the plate, low and away, ball 1.
And again, just the patience and the nerve to be able to stand in on an 0-2 on a close pitch like that.
And Thurber deals.
Inside,
he hit him. That's going to load him up. Second time today, Shorgy's been hit by a pitch. And so Brookline has him loaded up with 2 outs. Roach will advance to 3rd and Kravitz on up to 2nd.
Yeah, it's like, where has this been? The top 3 guys all just did exactly what they're supposed to do, get on base for the cleanup guy. And it looks like they're going out to talk to the mound now.
So the hit batsman has loaded him up, and Reed will have an RBI opportunity. He is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a fly to left. Matt Milano, Brookline head coach, Framingham head coach, out to have a word with Thurber. You'll take a look at the 4, 5, 6 hitters in this game for Brookline. They're a combined 0 for 6.
Yeah, at the very least the 4 in this inning, because 2 outs, it's all a matter of can they keep this inning going.
So base is jammed without the benefit of a base hit. Thurber in his first real jam today, and Reed cuts and misses at the first offering, and the count 0-1.
It's just like yesterday. They were able to get runners on base in a lot of scenarios, even without getting a base hit. It's part of what makes the high school game interesting. It really is just one hit can get you things exploding.
Pitch in the dirt, ball one. We'll keep an eye on Coleman on those pitches in the dirt.
Yeah.
Anything gets by him, Brookline gets a run.
Absolutely.
So Coleman has to be very wary of those pitches in the dirt. And there's a drive in a left field, and it's going to drop for a base hit. So one run is home, and the second run is in, and Brookline has scored for the first time this year. It's 7-2.
First and second scores of the season, all on one big swing of the bat. Jasperi, that's what he's good. That's what he's good for. He's good for getting those big hits when you need them. Brookline fans might remember he was the hero of the Lute Tompkins semifinal, coming up with the ground rule double that scored Shorgy for what would turn out to be the winning run in that 3-2 12-inning contest. And a nice play there, you know, a good, solid contact, dropped it right in front of the left fielder, and some nice base running too. Ryan Kravitz, no hesitation, which is one of the benefits of having this situation with 2 outs. Don't have to hesitate, just go. Once you hear the bat, go.
So that's going to do it for Thurber. He's going to leave after 4 2/3 innings as Matt Milano makes the call to the bullpen, and the Flyers will bring in their second pitcher. So Thurber, we'll give you the unofficial numbers at the moment. 4 2/3 innings, and he gave up 3 hits. At the moment, 2 runs, both earned. And he finished with 3 walks and 6 strikeouts. And so he will give way to the new Framingham pitcher.
Looks like number 15.
Who we don't have on our roster, unfortunately.
Of course.
So we apologize. We do not have a number 15 on our roster. We'll try and do our best without that information. But the Brookline Warriors on the board. Reed with a 2-run single, and it's now a 7-2 game. Brookline has sent 6 hitters to the plate here in this inning, and Annis will step in. He's 0 for 2 with a pop to third and a ground out to third.
Yep. Yeah, it hasn't been the most successful day on the stat sheet for Annis, but I am still happy to see him getting the bat on the ball. Like I said, he struck out 3 times in all 3 of his at-bats in the first game yesterday. So seeing him get bat on ball, even if it's not in the spot he needs to get it, that's a step forward in my book.
So here's Annis. He's hit the ball to the third baseman twice. Big swing and a miss for strike 1. 7-2 Framingham as we play in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Brookline has runners at first and second with 2 away. And this one sliced off to the right. We will attempt to find out who this Framingham pitcher is if we can. I was emailed the roster yesterday by Framingham coach Matt Milano, but unfortunately we do not have a 15 on our roster. And this pitch will sink down in the zone.
Yeah, we've talked about those things you take for granted at the college and pro levels. That's the other thing you take for granted is showing up to cover a game, and there's a roster that's online for the public, just easy access. Not the case in high school.
And nothing's more frustrating when you see a number and you can't put a name to that number, but we will attempt to discover who is on the hill for Framingham as quickly as we can for you. And this fastball will miss for ball 4. So Annis will draw a walk. Brookline keeping the pressure going. They've now got the bases loaded with 2 away. Shorgy will advance over to third. Reed up to second. And here's Martel. He has popped to first and flied to right. And the pitch misses high for ball one. 1-0. Bases full of Warriors. And this one very high, stabbed by Coleman. You know, strangely enough, the tying run is in the on-deck circle for Brookline right now.
Yeah. It's like it's one of those situations where you're like, do I dare to hope? But because on the other end of the spectrum, they're just one out away from ending this inning altogether.
Good pitch in there for a fastball. And the right-hander to the plate. Fouled back to the screen. 4 2/3 for Thurber. Solid outing. I would say he started to tire here in this fifth inning.
Yeah, definitely. Started to lose some of his stuff. Started to lose control. You know, dealing some walks, and then just that one big swing by Jasper Reed.
There have been 3 walks and a hit batsman in the inning. Check swing, and the curveball is in there for a called third strike. So Martel is down on strikes. Brookline will score twice in the inning. There were 2 runs, 1 hit. There were no errors and 3 left. Brookline has left 7 men on. We've played 5. It is Framingham 7 and Brookline 2. Back with the 6th inning in just a moment here on ASPN HD.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
But you got to keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a course online.
You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
Welcome back to Warren Field here in Brookline. We move along to the top half of the 6th inning. It is Framingham on top 7-2 as we go to the top half of the 6th inning. It'll be Rivera, Coleman, and Thurber due up for Framingham as the Flyers put 7 runs on the board in the top of the first. And Brookline answering with 2 in the bottom of the 5th. First pitch here of the 6th inning is driven into center field, and it's a base hit as Rivera, who has a sacrifice fly and a fielder's choice grounder, leads off the 6th with a base hit.
Yep. Really nicely placed there. Not really anything Brookline could do. Just almost like in the middle of a Bermuda Triangle between the shortstop, the center fielder, and the right fielder. Left fielder, excuse me.
Well, Jack Martel came in the 2nd inning. He's been in there the rest of the way. Coleman is the batter. Coleman has popped to short as he takes the first pitch for ball 1. Yeah. Popped to short, reached on an error, and grounded out to third, so he's 0 for 3.
Yep. Brookline coaches have got to keep an eye on Martel because, like we saw last inning with Thurber, you know, these late stages in the game, the pitchers can start getting tired and start losing control, as that's now his 2nd straight pitch in the dirt.
2-0 the count. Okay. We've got the new pitcher for Framingham. It is Jason Blanchard, who is normally number 20. J.J. Blanchard on the roster. And there's a pop-up that's caught by the pitcher, making the play Martel, and that is the first out of the inning. So I want to thank Chris Murphy and my wife, Lori Ann, as well, who helped to pass on that information. So if you're scoring at home, Blanchard in for Thurber on the mound. Also the line on Thurber now complete. There's a swing and a miss to Thurber. Actually, this would be Blanchard at the plate now. So this is his first at bat. The pitch on the way is in there for a called strike. Thurber at the plate today was a perfect 2 for 2. 2 singles and a walk. Blanchard, a left-handed hitter who is a freshman, and he'll swing and miss. That'll be strike 3, and that's the second out of the inning. And Scooter Beverly will step to the plate for Framingham. Beverly has walked twice, fouled out, and he's also scored a run. And Beverly also has a stolen base. And that one will be fouled right back to the screen. 2 men away, top of the 6th. Looking ahead to the bottom half of the inning, it'll be Rothman, Gosling, and Tracy. Lower third for Brookline. And good off-speed pitch from Martel. He sinks it in there for a called strike.
Earlier in the game I was talking about I wanted to see things dip into the zone more and less of those high balls. That was exactly what I was talking about right there.
And this will skip up to the plate.
Not that low, though.
Yep.
Every time I talk, I swear.
You'll learn about that broadcaster jinx as you go along. You just don't want to do that during a no-hitter, I guess.
Yeah.
It was different.
Well, I don't know. I didn't seem to jinx the Wellesley pitchers yesterday.
His pitch inside almost hit him. Different schools of thought about how to approach that with a no-hitter. They say that broadcasters shouldn't use the word no-hitter directly, but there are ways to describe it without referring directly to it. Like hitless through 7 or hitless through 8.
Yep.
Pitch misses high.
Yeah, just describe like, well, the other team hasn't gotten on base in a method that's not a walk or an error.
Well, with experience, you learn how to come up with different phrases to communicate different things.
Yes. The second column on the scoreboard still reads 0.
Yeah. Pitch is high, and they'll fire down to second on the stolen base attempt. Ball went into shallow center, but no further advance beyond second base. So it'll be a steal for Rivera as he gets into scoring position.
That was just a bit of miscommunication there with the shortstop, Rocco Shorty. He didn't get there in time, didn't have a good break towards second base. And credit to Ryan Kravitz. He rushed right in to make sure he backed that up. Looks like they're talking to Martel now, and I can see why the control's starting to leave him this inning. They might be thinking about putting someone else in. Although right now they're just messing around with the mound.
So we had a, did you see what happened on that last play? Because it looks like Beverly reached first.
Walk.
It was a walk. All right.
Oh.
So
Everybody was confused on that one. That explains more how that throw ends up in center field.
Right. Okay, so Beverly walks. That's the third time today that he's been given a free pass. So first and second, 2 outs. And here is Duffy, the center fielder. He's walked and struck out twice. 0 for 2. So Martel in a bit of a jam, and one would think this may be his last inning, as he'll crackle a strike in there, 0-1. Brookline had bullpen activity last inning, but it's quiet now. They may be ready with the next arm, whenever that would be.
Yeah, that's what's tricky about high school is a lot of times your relievers are already out there on the field, so you can't warm them up while your pitcher's already out there. You got to warm them up while you're at the plate.
Good curve there by Martel. That found the strike zone. Framingham trying to add to a 7-2 lead as we play here in the top half of the 6th inning. Big swing and a miss. He got him. Strike 3. So Duffy, for the third consecutive at bat, goes down swinging. Framingham does not score in the frame. They did threaten. No runs, 1 hit. There were no errors and 2 left. 6 men left on for Framingham in this game. And we have played 5.5 at Warren Field in Brookline. It is Framingham 7 and Brookline 2.
Yep. Hats off to Martel. If this is the last inning we're seeing from him, hats
good
off.
effort. Very
hats
good
off.
effort.
I mean, he was like we said, he was starting to lose control. He was starting to lose some of his stuff, and he still hung in there. Coaches had faith in him to get that last out of the inning, and he got it.
Brookline will play Weymouth in their next game on the 10th, which is this coming Monday at Libby Field. The next time these two teams will play will be on the 21st over at Bowditch Field in Framingham. Framingham has Natick next on their schedule. And the Bay State tournament is in June 7th and 9th at the end of the year.
It'll be nice to have high school playoffs back again because
Oh, yeah.
we've had so many seasons that it's like it just has to end with the regular season because can't afford to take that risk.
Yep.
Like you said, we're starting to return to some normalcy.
Slow but sure.
Get your vaccines,
Did
people.
you get your vaccines yet?
I've gotten my first. I'm getting my second 2 weeks from today.
There you go. We had ours. We're all set.
Yep.
Of course, me being older, I guess the old folks had to get the shots first.
Yeah, no, there were certain like priority stacks, and I was pretty near the bottom.
Well, we thank you for doing your part and doing your part to end this pandemic. For Brookline in the 6th inning, scheduled hitters are Rothman, Gosling, and Tracy. It'll be the lower third for the Warriors. J.J. Blanchard came in the 5th inning, and he walked a man and struck out a man. First pitch in the dirt to Rothman, who's doubled and struck out. He's 1 for 2. So Thurber, the starter, went 4 2/3, gave up 3 hits and 3 runs, all earned. 2 hits and 2 runs, I beg your pardon. 3 hits and 2 runs as I double check my numbers.
I'm sure Brookline wouldn't mind if it was 3 runs.
Yeah. This fastball is hit high in the air. Third baseman ranging over at foul ground. And there to make the catch is Kelly, 1 away. So that's Rothman fouling out to third, 1 out.
You know, I feel like in the midst of the good pitching efforts and the amazing offensive outburst in the first inning, one thing that you kind of don't talk about as much is that Framingham has been very strong fielding today. I mean, still no errors through this game, and we're in the 6th inning.
Well, they say it's pitching and defense. That's what wins you championships. Here's Gosling, 2 at-bats and 2 strikeouts. And a luscious curveball by Blanchard is in there for strike 1.
Yep. Gosling, of course, he was a defensive player yesterday, so he didn't even see the plate yesterday.
Good fastball here. Blanchard has been impressive with the way he mixes up his pitches. 1-1 the count here on Gosling with Declan Tracy waiting on deck. Here's the pitch. Another curve is in for a called strike.
He's got some nice movement on those curves.
Yep. J.J. Blanchard. Nice. Went with the curveball again. Nice curveball is what I meant to say as Gosling strikes out. So he's had 3 plate appearances and 3 strikeouts.
Man, when you can drop a curveball in the high inside corner like that, I mean, it looks like it's coming towards your face, and then all of a sudden it's in the strike zone.
Here's
How
Tracy.
do you do that?
Yep, here's Tracy. He's walked and grounded to third. He's 0 for 1. Brookline running out of time here. Warriors down to their last 4 offensive outs. And they trail it by 5. This pitch will miss wide. Both teams have used 2 pitchers. We'll see if Brookline makes a switch in the 7th inning. Martel has gone the last 5 as this pitch is in the dirt. Crowd has gotten a little bit bigger here as the game has gone on. They're bundled up. Still chilly here at Warren Field in Brookline. Big swing and a miss. He went upstairs with the heater that time. The lower third of the order for Brookline. The last 3 hitters in the order are a combined 1 for 7. And Tracy will work a walk here, so they'll have a man at first with 2 away. Second time Tracy's been issued a walk, so they've gotten production out of the 9-hitter.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, Tracy, you know, one of the shorter hitters in the Brookline lineup, less of a strike zone. You make it work for you.
Here's Roach, 2 strikeouts and a walk. He would stand to be the losing pitcher in this one, unless Brookline has a monumental rally, either in the duration of this inning or in the 7th. Runner at first with 2 away. And the right-hander into the windup. Blanchard misses high with this one. I'm sure that Matt Milano would be very happy if Blanchard can finish this out. Big swing and a miss. He came inside with the heater that time.
Roach has had a good eye for the ball in a lot of cases. You know, he's walked 4 times this season already, but he's having trouble getting the bat on the ball.
The big right-hander ready, and he'll miss too far inside there.
Almost hit him that time. Looked like Roach was going to get another free trot down to first.
J.J. Blanchard, the right-hander, deals. And he'll miss upstairs. Back-to-back walks with 2 outs in the 6th. Second time Roach has worked a walk in this game.
Yep.
Tracy advancing to second.
You know, it's crazy. His batting average is 0 so far. But his on-base percentage, I think, is like over 500.
Yeah, and that's fine. You know, you want base runners. That's what gets you wins.
Absolutely. They gotta you know, that's what Roach's job is. Roach's job is to get on base. That's what you want out of the top of your lineup. Problem is, they need the meat of the order to be able to get the timely hits and bring them in.
So we're back to Kravitz, who has grounded out twice and walked. He grounded to second and grounded to the pitcher. Kravitz walked in the 5th, and he came around to score on the 2-run single by Reed. So he's got another chance here to keep this inning going. Blanchard, after retiring the first 2 in the inning, has issued back-to-back walks. The big right-hander. This is inside with a fastball, 1-0. Framingham in the 7th will have Mutafas, Messer, and Kelly due. And the right-hander is ready. Blanchard will miss low it in. They'll check in with the runner at first. Back safely is Roach.
Yeah, that's the thing. You got to be ready to take off and run if you're going to try and make something happen here. But at the same time, you know, don't get caught, you know, sneaking off too far.
Blanchard will miss downstairs here. It's got to be concerning for Coach Milano. You know, you get those first 2 outs, and now you've walked back-to-back hitters, and you know, you're 1 walk away from loading the bases and bringing the tying run to the on-deck circle.
Absolutely.
The big right-hander deals, and Blanchard will fire a strike in there. High school baseball uses 2 umpires, 1 at the plate and 1 in the field. And he'll drop that one in on the inside corner. Good pitch.
Backs to the wall now.
Brookline hoping to cut into a 5-run deficit here in the bottom of the 6th. And this curve stays a little bit high. That was a very close pitch. And Kravitz walks, so back-to-back-to-back walks have loaded the bases.
Nerves of steel right there. Full count, 2 outs, and you take that pitch. Man.
Yeah, very close. Here is Shorgy. Shorgy in this game has been hit by a pitch twice. He's also single, so he's been on base 3 times. 1 for 1 officially. So Brookline certainly with a threat here to cut into this Framingham lead. Tying run is in the on-deck circle in the person of Reed, who already has a 2-run hit in this game. And Blanchard will get the strike in there, the one he wants. And that'll be in there for strike 3. So Blanchard works his way out of trouble That's going to do it for Brookline in the 6th. No runs, no hits, no errors. They leave 3 critical runners on. Brookline has left 10 men on base in this one. We have played 6. 1 inning to go. It is Framingham 7 and Brookline 2. We will take a timeout. We'll be back in a moment. You're watching Bay State Brookline baseball on ESPN HD.
You know, a lot of people say when you're going somewhere, you don't want to look back. But I beg to differ. I can't lie and say it was easy. I looked at everything in a different light. I realized it started with me going back and getting my high school diploma.
Welcome back to Warren Field here in Brookline. We move along to the 7th inning. And a new pitcher on for Brookline. Grossling, who had been at third base. Jesse, he will now pitch. Martel, who started the game at second, will go back to second base, and Roach goes to third. So Grossling will face Mutafas, Messer, and Kelly here in the 7th. And the first pitch to Angelo Mutafas is low. Mutafas walked with the bases loaded in the first, drove in a run, popped to short, and flied to center.
Yep. We've said it a few times now. Martel, you got to have your hat off to him. He had a good relief pitching effort.
I thought he was outstanding. He went 5 innings, 2 hits, no runs. He walked 5, struck out 4. That's really the only really blitz on his record was the 5 walks, but no runs allowed.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they got runners on him, but he always got out of the jam every time.
Pitch to Mutafas, misses low.
Gosling's been missing low on every pitch thus far. He's got to bring that up.
So Brookline using their third pitcher. This is Leander Grossling. And he's going to miss. So a 4-pitch walk. Not the way you want to start the inning, as Mutafas is on with his second walk.
Yep. And that's, Brookline's got to be happy they're about to head for a 2-day break of the weekend, because over these past 2 games, they've now used 6 different pitchers.
And the big story today also, 10 walks issued by Brookline pitching.
Yes.
So that's got to improve. Messer has reached on an error, walked, and reached on an error again. He's officially 0 for 3 with a run scored.
Yep. Now, if there is a theme of what needs to be improved after today, it is defensive execution on all aspects. Pitching's got to get better at controlling and keeping it in the zone. The fielders have got to do a better job of having their pitchers back so they feel like they can attack the zone. Just an all-around improvement is needed.
Have a brief delay here. And I'm not sure what the source of the delay is. We're set to go here as Grossling will lean in for the sign. 7-2 Flyers here in the 7th. Fastball misses upstairs. There are only 3 hitters in the Brookline lineup that have not walked in this game. That gives you an idea of the number of walks issued. This pitch is downstairs for a ball. Thurber has walked once. Beverly has walked 3 times. Duffy once. Mutakas twice. Messer once. Kelly once. Messer, the designated hitter in the lineup for Matt Milano's Framingham Flyers. And a big cut and a miss there. Looks like he took just a bit off on that pitch.
Yep. But you know what? Grossling is starting to get those pitches up and, work that inside corner.
The right-hander is ready. And Grossling gets strike 2 in there. Badly needed strike. Mutafas at first with a leadoff walk.
If Grossling can respond to that 4-pitch walk with a strikeout.
This one is lifted high in the air, back behind the plate. Reed gave it a look. but it's out of play.
Yeah, it seems like Grossling is starting to get back in control now. You know, he definitely had some trouble throwing it way too low to start things out.
Brookline would love a double play here. They've got the second baseman Martel and the shortstop Shorgy at double play depth. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And the strikeout for Grossling. Messer is down on strikes. 1 out for Framingham here in the 7th. 5th strikeout for Brookline pitchers. Here is Kelly. 2 walks and a single. 1 for 1 with an RBI and a run scored. He'll take this one in the dirt. Ball 1. In the bottom of the 7th, it'll be Brookline's last chance. Reed, Annis, and Martel, the 4, 5, 6 hitters, will be due. Big cut and a miss there as the 2 number 7s go head to head here. Grossling identified by that blonde hair under the black cap.
Checking that runner at first base. Brookline's done a pretty good job after that first inning. One of the things they've done a good job of is, you know, keeping an eye on the base runners and keeping them honest.
Grossling will get that one in there for a called strike. Framingham put 7 runs on the board in the top of the 1st, and that is all they have needed. Grossling will miss high with this next offering. You can see Brookline's offense gaining a little more confidence as the game went on. They finally got on the board with 2 in the 5th, but they'll have a significant deficit in the bottom of the 7th. There's a swing and a grounder hit down to short. They'll get the out at second, on to first, safe. So they'll get just the 1 out. Kelly grounds into a 6-4 force out, and that will be the 2nd out of the inning. That play was executed nicely, Jesse, but Kelly with good speed getting down that line.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. You know, Shorgy played it safe there, didn't try and take any risks, let the relatively slow roller come to him, and just got the lead runner.
Here's Connolly. He single flied to right and grounded to second, 1 for 3. As Grossling misses very high with that first offering, ball 1.
Nice snag by Reed, though. He's definitely done a good job defensively behind the plate today.
And the next offering, cut on and missed. Thanks so much for being with us today. High school baseball here at Warren Field in Brookline. Hope you've enjoyed the telecast as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. And this one back to the backstop. That will advance the runner. Grossling with a wild pitch, and Reed with a multi-hop throw down to second. So if you're scoring at home, that's a wild pitch. Kelly.
They finally got one past Reed.
Yep. Kelly advancing on the wild pitch. So Flyers with a runner in scoring position here. Grossling trying to put up a 0 on the board, and he'll miss low and inside. Framingham in search of their first win of the year. That would get them back to 500. Pitch is high. That'll be ball 4, so that'll put runners at first and second. And Brookline is in danger of dropping to 0-2 on the year.
What's certainly interesting, though, is it does sort of feel like both teams have really taken a step forward from how things went in their first game. I mean, before the game we were talking about how Brookline wasn't able to get any offense going against Wellesley, and they had to improve that, and how Framingham was able to produce but needed to back that up with defense. And, I mean, Brookline's put their first hits and first runs on the board for the season, and Framingham, they didn't even score as much as they did yesterday, and they're still winning, which says all you need to hear about their defense so far.
Here's Rivera, a sac fly, a ground out, and a single to center. First pitch cut on and missed, 0-1. That walk that was just issued by Grossling was the 11th walk issued by Brookline pitching. And I I'm sure that is something that Brendan O'Connor will try and address. Gosling will miss high here.
Yeah, no doubt control has been a big problem early on in the season for them.
Of course, I think those things kind of have a tendency to straighten them out as the weather gets warmer.
Yes.
Gosling deals, and it's cut on and missed. Throw down will skip behind the second base bag. Runner will try and advance. Here's the throw, and the Warriors think they have him, but I believe the runner will be called safe.
Man, that play was wild. A nice idea by Reed throwing down to second. Problem was the runner slid in front of the throw. So then it skips out to center field. Nice throw by Kravitz. They almost got him.
That's more or less a double steal right there.
Yeah.
So Framingham now 2 in scoring position. And this pitch is lifted high in the air, third base side. Will it be playable? Yes, and then dropped in foul territory by the third baseman. That would be Roach. Brookline catches a break there as that ball was dropped in foul territory.
And now,
but again, they want that third out too. So
yes. Yeah, no, that's tough. That could have been an inning ender right there. And
so that would go as an error on the third baseman.
Yes.
Which would be the 5th error of the day for the Warriors.
Yep. And that's another thing they got to work on. We talk about the walks. They've now had 5 errors in each of their first 2 games of the season.
So Rivera with a RBI opportunity here, and he'll foul that one back to the screen. I think what happened on that play was as the third baseman was coming over, Roach, he was trying to gauge how close he was to the fence. And he might have taken his eye off the ball for a split second. Pitch misses high.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. He was wondering whether he was going to need to go over the fence or anything like that. And like you said, just take your ball off the eye off the ball for a second.
And Gosling picks up the strikeout to end the inning. So clutch pitching there. Rivera called out on strikes. So Framingham will threaten, but they won't score. No runs. There were no hits. There was 1 error on the drop pop-up, and they leave 2 in scoring position. Last chance for the Brookline Warriors. After 6.5, it is a 7-2 Framingham advantage.
Yep. And you know, like we said before, you take out that disaster of a first inning for Brookline, they're winning this game.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, so they've got things that need to be worked on. You know, they got to work on the walks, they got to work on the errors, but there's potential here moving forward in the season.
Yep, and you know, you're only 2 games in. There's plenty of time to, you know, work on things. But Brookline certainly has a lot more to build on for their next game after being shut out by Wellesley yesterday and not being able to get any hits. So the Warriors will bring up Reed, Annis, and Martel. And a hard-throwing J.J. Blanchard will try to finish this off for Framingham. He came on in relief of the starter Thurber, who went 4 2/3. Thurber gave up 3 hits, 3 runs. Make that 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts. So Framingham looking to get back to 500 at 1-1. And Brookline, unless they're able to have a huge rally here in the bottom of the 7th, would slip to 0-2. But Reed will step in. He has struck out, flied to left, and a 2-run single. 1 for 3 with 2 runs batted in.
Oh, just the fact that he's getting a 4th plate appearance speaks to how much better their offense is doing today. Owen Roach was the only batter who got a 4th plate appearance of the entire Brookline lineup yesterday.
Blanchard's first pitch skips up back to the backstop for ball one. Another key to this game, 10 men left on by Brookline.
Yep.
So they've had their chances. Pitch low.
Yep, no, definitely some priorities to work on. Limit those walks, limit those errors, and get some more timely hitting.
Talk about scoring in bunches in this game. Framingham with 7 in the first, Brookline 2 in the fifth. That's been it.
Yeah. No, it really a 7-2 game does not sound like a pitcher's duel, but for most of this game, it really has been.
Blanchard with a high fastball. He got that in at the letters. It's been Thurber and Blanchard for Framingham. It's been Roach, Martel, and Gosling for Brookline. Checked his swing on a high fastball.
And we talk about scoring in bunches. That's pretty much what happened with the Wellesley game yesterday. You know, six runs in the fourth inning, and that accounted for almost all the scoring of the day.
Off-speed pitch catches the corner. And the big right-hander deals, and he'll miss inside. Ball 4, so a good start for Brookline. They're in the bottom of the 7th. Reed draws a walk. Blanchard has struggled with walks. He's now issued 5 walks since coming in. Here's Annis. He has popped to third, grounded to third, and walked. He's 0 for 2. And Blanchard with a wild pickoff throw, and that will advance the runner. So that's an E1. Framingham commits their first defensive miscue of the afternoon.
Yeah, and you were talking about you were just talking about the lack of control there from Blanchard, and then all of a sudden he shows it in an entirely different way.
So credit an error to the pitcher there. That moves Reed up into scoring position. And Blanchard will miss in the dirt. Annis to be followed by Martel in the order for Brookline. And this pitch is smacked on the ground to second. That'll advance the runner as the play is made. A 4-3 ground out for Annis. That's the first out of the inning. Reed advances over to third.
You know what, like I said before, you know, Annis has not struck out once today. He struck out on all 3 of his plate appearances yesterday. He's either made contact or walked at all 4 of his plate appearances today.
So 1 out, runner at third, and here's Martel. Big cut at the first, offering for strike 1. Martel has popped the first, fly to right. He's also been called out on strikes, 0 for 3, but his contribution has been on the mound. 5 solid innings today.
Yes.
There's the pitch is in there for a strike. 5 scoreless innings, I might
Yes. Yeah, no, I was about to say, not just solid, but shutout.
Yep.
Now he's got a chance for an RBI.
As this pitch misses low and outside. Framingham will absolutely concede this run for an out with a 5-run lead.
No, absolutely. So all he's got to do is not pop up to the infield and not strike out.
And Blanchard, if you're Blanchard, you've got to be in the frame of mind that, hey, I just have to throw strikes here. We have a 5-run lead in the 7th with 1 out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the curveball is in there for strike 3, more of a breaking ball. Martel strikes out, and Brookline is down to their last out.
Yep, I mean, that's the thing. Blanchard, he hasn't been great with his placement, but he's got some nice movement on his pitches.
So it's up to Rothman. He's got a double, a strikeout, and a foul out to third. He'll take the first pitch in there for strike 1. Rothman doubled, went to third on a balk in the second inning. Struck out and fouled to third, so he is 1 for 3. Got Brookline's first hit of the year. This one's popped in the air, third base side, out of play. Stay with us. We'll have a quick wrap-up of this one when we're done. want you to stay tuned for that. The right-hander Blanchard into the windup. Here it is. This pitch is lifted in the air to the right side, out of play. So Brookline down to their last strike.
You know what? He's taking cuts. He's trying to make things happen.
Blanchard deals. Went with the curve again. This pitch is in the dirt.
Nice check there by Rothman, because you could tell that curve had him fooled, but he just managed to pull back in time.
And the right-hander deals. This pitch will miss low and away. 7-2 Framingham. Bottom of the 7th. Brookline a runner at third with 2 outs. And the right-hander deals. This pitch is lined to the left field. That's going to get a run home. And Brookline has cut it back to 7-3. RBI single for Rothman. He is 2 for 4. And Brookline does get that run to make it 7-3.
What a nice game he's been having. I mean, the 2 hits have been really good. He's also made some nice plays at first base. And I mean, doing that with 2 strikes and 2 outs in a game where you're already trailing by this much.
Here's Grossling. 3 strikeouts today. There's a called strike. He has struck out swinging each time he's been to the plate. And the runner will take off for second. That'll be defensive indifference with a 4-run lead here in the bottom of the 7th as the pitch is in there for a called strike.
Gosling's got to put the bat on the ball.
So no stolen base there, just defensive indifference. Big cut and a miss, strike 3, and that's going to do it. So Brookline scores 1 in the bottom of the 7th, and they pick up 1 run, 1 hit. There were no errors and 1 left. So the final score here at Warren Field in Brookline, the Framingham Flyers 7 and the Brookline Warriors 3. We invite you to stay with us. Our post-game wrap is next. You're watching Brookline Baseball on ESPN HD.
Every day,
Millions of people are connecting. Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor. It's time we take a step forward, come together,
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
I am blind, but I need not see. I know this road is there for me.
Welcome back to Warren Field here in Brookline. Framingham defeats Brookline by a score of 7-3 here in Bay State League action. And Jesse, the Brookline Ball Club, just 1 bad inning. 7 runs for Framingham in the first, and they were able to make it stand up.
Yep. I really do feel like both teams have some positives they can take away from this, John. I mean, Framingham, obviously, they got the win on the board, and they got a great first inning and some nice defensive performances, particularly from their starting pitcher, Thurber. And as for Brookline, some positives to take away as well, even with the loss. Their first hits of the season, their first runs of the season, they really brought it back and made it respectable, all highlighted, of course, by a great relief pitching performance from Jack Martel.
Absolutely. And if you're Brendan O'Connor, what do you emphasize for Game 3?
Well, there's a few points of emphasis in all 3 phases of the game, I feel like. Number 1, pitchers have got to limit the walks. Don't give them anything. Don't give them any free passes. Secondly, fielding with the errors. Don't make the pitchers feel like they got to do everything themselves, because that can lead to those walks and exacerbate the problem. And third, timely hitting. We talked about it during the game, the number of runners they were stranding on base. They've got to find those those balls in play that are going to bring runners across the plate. Even if they can get runners on base, it doesn't matter if they don't score.
Well, Brookline 0-2, and they will look to get back in the win column next game. And we want to thank you for joining us here on ESPN HD. Again, the final score for the final time, Framingham 7, Brookline 3. Thanks so much for watching. You've been watching Brookline Baseball right here on ESPN HD.